Good evening. Who's feeling massive tonight? I'm massive most of the time anyway, but I'm feeling really, really massive right now. Welcome to American Hammers TV, part of the American Hammers Network. It's Wednesday night.
Was
We
that
keep
before
this.
or we came onto the show and made you massive? Were you massive before you came on, or
I'm massive most of the time. I'm
your
I'm
wife is a lucky woman?
I'm constantly working on being less massive, but that's a personal thing. Yeah.
Impossible.
I know it's impossible. It's impossible because I'm West Ham and we're massive. We're all
Well,
massive.
with his age in question, he'd maybe want to stay massive for as long as possible. But
That's true. So yeah, welcome to our show. It's Wednesday night. Last week we did this on Monday. Now we're doing it on Wednesday. It's all my fault because I can't get my schedule straightened out. So blame me. I apologize. But we're gonna get to a whole lot of stuff tonight. All right, a lot of stuff. The first thing I want to do is recognize that tomorrow is Veterans Day in this country, and I know there's a similar holiday in the UK, and I think you had Remembrance Sunday this past weekend. Pretty much the same thing. So I want to say to all of our veterans, a heartfelt thank you for everything you've done for us. And that includes Selly, who's often on with us. He's been working lately and hasn't been able to be on with us. Selly, who's an Air Force veteran. Our friend Rob, who's been on, hasn't been on for a while, but he was on with us some last year. He's, I think, still in the Navy. A couple of other people I can't. Forgive me for not remembering who is who, but to all the people who've been on with us who have served, and to all those of you out there watching. And if you guys have it in you, maybe check out a veterans charity this weekend. You know what I mean? Like Vietnam Veterans Charity, I think is a good one. Or there's a couple of others out there. I meant to get some links together. I didn't do it. So anyway, but check out a good reputable charity for veterans and see if you can help them out a little bit.
If I just say, and in this country as well, Help for Heroes. If you are, my uncle is a Desert Storm 1 veteran, so it is a great charity over here as well. If UK people are watching, so.
Help for Heroes in the UK, and I know I think Disabled American Veterans is still around in the US, and there's several others. Look them up. You'll see which ones are legitimate. They're large and they're well known. So anyway, we wanted to throw that out there. Yeah. So who's with us? Who's always with us? Down there in the bottom corner, proper cockney. What you drinking there, James? What is that?
Juice. Like dilute. You know what I mean? It's too late to have a beer. You know what I mean?
It's too late to have exactly. Well,
I'm still celebrating from the other night. But,
never too late.
Is if I drink a beer past, like, let's say 10 o'clock at night, I'm up like half the night peeing. Let's face it. You know what I mean? That's what's gonna happen. So I gotta, you know what I mean? So only when I'm out with friends do I do stuff like that. Other than that, I gotta cut that stuff off after dinner. Anyway, how's it going, James?
all good, mate. Loving life, mate. Third in the league now, and we are massive.
We are massive. Next to James from the capital of the Midlands in England, Leeds. It's Tom. How you doing, Tom?
Not bad. I had to wait a while because for my second jab because of moving and everything. So I just had my second jab earlier, so I can't really move my left arm. But other than that, yeah, all good.
I got mine last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, and my boys got their first one over the weekend, which is great because when they are fully vaccinated, it is going to be time to start updating the passports and renewing the passports, and we want to get over there. We want to get over there. We do. We want to get over there. So time is coming, maybe in the spring. My neighbor in Boston, just down the road, just down the highway. How you doing, David? I'm
doing outstanding. That result just dropped, brought joy to my heart. Was tense at the end, but I'm on cloud 9. Life is good. I'm double jabbed as well, looking to get my booster shot in the upcoming days, and maybe even thinking of traveling to watch the Leeds match. We'll see. But
when is that? When is Leeds match?
I think it's January 22nd, I believe, or I forget. Yeah, January 22nd, I believe.
I figure if we make it over between like vaccinations and budget and schedules for my wife, because she's going to want to come with me, it'd be probably more up into the spring, maybe like April. But we'll see. Right next to me, we're in that sweet New York Mets hat down in Maryland. What are you drinking, Lucas? What is that?
That's my daily gallon of water.
Oh, well, that's good. That's healthy. Well, sorry, you guys are what? Football supporters drinking juice and water? Come on. I'm not drinking anything, actually.
I don't have any beer.
It's 1:10 in the morning, Lee. Maybe
I'll give you
4 or
that.
5 years
I'll give
ago
you-
when
I'll
I
give
was
you
at
that
uni, yeah,
excuse.
but it's coffee and water at the minute.
I'll give you that excuse.
We're trying to fit into those XL kits. You feel me?
I've got that kit that David's wearing. Yeah, I've
I
got
was
that
going to say,
XL kit.
David's carrying himself very well in it.
He looks good in it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't look at him and think XL, right? You look at him and think that's a nice football shirt. You look at me and you think, well, the guy's just wearing his size on his shirt and it's still too small. But anyway, that's the first West Ham shirt I ever bought, actually, was that shirt. I think it's 2006, 2007, or 2007, 2008, maybe?
Yeah, it was the second kit I ever bought.
Yeah. So I like that one a lot. In fact, when I got married, I gave my groomsmen shirts like that, or at least one of them I gave a shirt like that. So anyway, I couldn't be happier, obviously, as a West Ham supporter. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I'm going to do this myself here pretty soon. ahtv.threadless.com. I said that pretty slowly this time. Check out stuff, supporters group stuff, West Ham stuff. Help us out a little bit. I need more West Ham t-shirts. Mine are all worn out because I wear them every day. So I think I might buy myself some Christmas and or birthday gifts here pretty soon. ahtv.threadless.com. So that would be great. I just want to say that, there's a lot to love about this West Ham team right now. And it's not just the success. The success is fantastic. The team spirit is fantastic. The individual players, the coaching staff, the manager. There's a lot to talk about tonight. But you know what I want to just say this quickly before we start. What I really love about this West Ham team is where we sit right now, what we've done here these last few weeks. And, our guys still are basically a bunch of guys in a lot of cases nobody wanted, nobody thought was good enough, nobody had ever heard of, Mikel Antonio was stuck at right back, 4 or 5 years ago. Nobody saw nobody saw how he could fulfill his potential as a striker. Chelsea told Declan Rice, "You're not good enough for us. Go play for the club in East London." And he's become, he might be the best English player, period, right now. I don't think that's a ridiculous thing to say. You got guys like Craig Dawson. What was he, 2 million, 3 million pounds from Watford? Who wanted this guy? Who thought anything? Nobody thought anything about this guy. We didn't think anything about this guy for a long time after he signed. Vladimir Soufal was just a guy. Thomas Suchek said, "Oh, you should come and play with me at West Ham." Okay, that's fine. He's like a 4 or 5 million pound signing. These were not superstars. Suchek wasn't a superstar. These were not guys anybody looked at and said, "Oh, these guys are going to make a huge impact on the Premier League." And yet that's exactly what they've done. Saïd Benrahma, Pablo Fornals, all these guys. We don't have marquee names. We don't have a lot of money behind most of these guys. But what we have is a team that plays together, players who play for each other, players who play for the fans. And you can see the way they celebrate, the way they play. You can see on social media, you can see everything about them. They're loving West Ham right now. And I'm loving West Ham right now. And it's not just because we're good. It's because of how we're being good. Anyway, there's so much that happened this week with Daniel Krasinski, I think is his name. Is that right? Buying into West Ham. Poor Angelo Ogbonna, who is going to be gone for we don't know how long. It might be quite a long time. Maybe a very, very long time. And Declan seems to have the flu, and he's missing out on those super important qualifiers against Albania and San Marino. Is that it? I can't. Whatever.
Almighty San Marino.
San Marino. If they ever won a qualifying, I'm not sure they've ever won a qualifying match ever. Anyway, then maybe against Liechtenstein. But I want to talk about, because we have to, because I know it's been like 4 days, but I don't care. I want to talk about Liverpool. What a fantastic performance that was. And what this game was full of drama. This game was full of intrigue. There were VAR decisions. There was red card controversy. There was violence. Everything. This was one of those games you'll look back on many years from now as a classic, regardless of the result. The result made you even better. I don't know. Let's start down. We'll start down at the bottom this time. James, give me your thoughts on Liverpool, if you would. What you liked, and let's just stick with what we liked. I don't care about what we didn't like. Just what did you like? What did you like most?
Just a great team performance, mate, really, if I'm being truthfully honest. Obviously, we started off well. We got the goal early, and that benefited us massively. I think if Liverpool go in front, I think we find it hard work to peg them back, and because they just counter attack us. First half was okay, I'd say. Liverpool literally dominated us in the first half. Second half, we looked a completely different team though. We come out and we was up for it big time.
Yeah.
I think what it was, they moved Trent into the middle. He kept drifting into the middle. They spotted that in the first half and went, right, get side Ben Rama and Cresswell down that side. And that was one of the reasons why we performed. I thought Pablo Fornals was a 10 out of 10.
Yes,
I thought he was world class.
Yep.
I thought he scored a great goal. I think Zuma's goal was excellent. I think the work from Rice and Antonio on the set pieces was good. And then Origi, the man who I've been saying about coming to West Ham, pops up and scores a goal for them. And yeah, it was nervy, but I've got no doubts in this team. And I said it a few weeks ago. We'll keep banging the drum on this. There's something special is happening at West Ham, and I believe in this team. And we've now played a top team, like a top team. Yeah. And we deserve to get something out of that game on Sunday, and we did, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with any of that. This was a test. This was a statement game, as we say here in the U.S., and we made a statement. Twommy, if you were in Boston, you'd definitely be called Twommy. Twommy, what'd you think? Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. From the
the man that you really want to talk about it, the actual
man you really want to hear from. Okay, I'm sorry, Tom. We'll come back. The man you want to hear from, the happiest man in the whole of England has to be Ray Force, Raymondo. How you doing, Ray? What's going on?
I'm very well, thank you. I am such a happy hammer. Right, I'm not even gonna lie. I walked into the Liverpool Football Club store in the town centre and just shouted out, "West Ham are massive!"
Oh, please tell me you really did that.
No, I actually did do it. I wish I filmed it. I walked past it today, and outside work, we're putting out our Christmas decorations, and all the boys that I know, Everton fans, Liverpool fans, coming past, they're like, "What is going on with West Ham?" I'm literally just shouting out, "West Ham are massive!"
Please tell me you've been giving it to your missus all week, Ray. Other than that, but football as well.
That was one of the great moments in our history. Hello, hi. There's only 14 people watching, Ray. Tell her nobody's watching. It doesn't really matter. It's fine. We're half the crowd is literally on the screen right now, so it's fine. So
what are we talking about?
Is she a Liverpudlian then?
No, she likes West Ham now. She ain't got a choice.
Oh, good. Well, that's the way it should be. That's the way you got to.
She'll be out in the streets.
You asserted your dominance as you must. Well, we were just talking about Liverpool. So, you tell us, all right? Now, did you go to the game in London?
No, I couldn't. I tried to get some tickets lastminute.com from Heineken, the bastards, but they couldn't get me any, so they got me tickets for Burnley.
Well, that's also nice, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, something. All right, so were you in Liverpool on Sunday?
Yeah, I was in Liverpool. I was at the bar. Do you know what? Because a few of my boys are Liverpool fans. They've been saying we played them off the pitch. They actually really said we actually played really well, and they were surprised.
I mean, I'll tell you what I liked, and we were just going around talking about what we liked from that game, because even though it was 4 days ago, I'm not finished enjoying it. You know, when I looked at the starting 11, I said to myself, "That's not 5 at the back. That's the same starting 11 we put out for Tottenham, for Villa. That's our Premier League starting 11. We didn't concede anything to them. We just said we're going to go after you with what we always go after. You know." Oh yeah! Oh, wait! What does it say? Oh, beautiful. Fantastic. That is fantastic. That is brilliant. Well done. I was expecting something a little different when the robe came off. But the West Ham shirt is also good. It's also nice, all right? So fantastic.
Legs are hairy as anything.
You know what? It's not really that big of a problem.
Well, it is. Believe it.
Ray, I think you better, given that I know what time it is over there, I think you better quit while you're behind.
Yeah, I better go. And my signal's not that great by the looks of it, so I apologise for jumping in, boys. But West Ham.
No, I'm glad you jumped in, Ray. I'm glad you jumped in. You always, whenever you want, okay? You know you're always welcome.
buddy.
Anytime.
Take care, guys.
Anytime. All right.
Good
See you
seeing
soon,
you,
Ray.
Ray.
Have a
See you,
good
Ray.
evening. Everybody knows Ray lives in Liverpool. Right? I know you guys all know that. But if anybody's watching, you didn't know Ray lives in Liverpool. He manages a bar there, that Coyote Ugly bar in Liverpool. If you're ever in the city, you should go to his bar and hang out. And evidently that's his girlfriend, which I was like, she's taking the robe off. Let's go. But the West Ham shirt was nice. Anyway, Tuam, you were saying about Sunday. What were some of your thoughts about?
I didn't actually get a chance to say anything because Ray jumped in.
I know. Well, you weren't saying then. More specifically, yes.
Yeah, no, it was. I was on Jake's little preview that he did with a Liverpool fan before the game, and it was just. I think that was the litmus test really for us. That was how much we'd improved as a side, and were we going to take it to Liverpool?
Sorry, that's really...
the French do love hairy legs.
I don't mind. I don't judge. Ladies, do your
And
thing.
armpits.
They love some hair in France.
You let it go, man. It's winter. You do what you want. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
So no, I think obviously it was the litmus test for us, and it was to see how much we'd improved as a side. And I think as James said there, I think if they went a goal in front, it was possibly not the best thing for us. Even though we sort of came back against Genk in midweek, how well could we come, especially a goal down against the Liverpool side that are in form as they have been for the last half a year, obviously. So. It was a massive performance. Obviously, I think them actually getting the goal really helped us before half time, because obviously if that had gone in at 1-0 potentially, may have been balls to the wall in the second half again. But it completely changed the complexion of the game. Obviously, David Moyes said it in his interview afterwards that he saw something about bringing 4 nails into the middle of the park. And if that was what did it, it worked absolute wonders for us. We were just clinical on the counter-attack. We probably on our day could have had a couple more goals from the counter-attack. But set pieces again, I really hate it, because I know other teams will look at us and think, oh, they're just a set piece team, set piece.
West
but I know
set piece ham. Yeah,
exactly,
West set piece ham. Yeah.
But as David Moyes said, I know he says, they don't work on them a lot. Obviously, there is some things that will go in there, especially for that Zuma's goal. There was a lot more to it than just a man jumping for the ball, because again, I think as James said, you could see on that play, obviously Antonio's job is to back into the goalkeeper, but Rice was almost the dummy run and then blocking off to allow Zuma to come free at the back post. It was like an alley-oop play almost. It was allowing Zuma to come to the back door and throw it down. So it was... Yep. It just at the moment it's such an incredible feeling. I did pace around my living room for the last sort of 15 minutes, especially when Origi scored that goal, which technically was unbelievable. But I backed us at that point to see it out, because we know how good we've been defensively, and obviously Ogbonna going down is a massive issue. I think I said at the time to Rebecca, it was that looked like an ACL because his knee it would have opened the ligaments up, etc. But look, Craig,
you watched the match with Rebecca?
Oh, I did. Yes, we enjoyed the match together.
That's good. That's nice. Nice.
But Dawson came in and on at least statistically put in a better performance than Van Dijk. I know Van Dijk was exceptional, whatever, but if you look at the statistics or the stats from the game, Dawson was just as good, if not better. So, yeah, it obviously a massive blow for Ogbonna, but my God, just each week we just go from strength to strength. It's just. It's so nice. It's incredible to watch and just be a West Ham fan at the moment and be proud of it. So yeah, incredible team performance, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we want to talk about Angelo here in a minute, obviously. But I wanted to start with happy stuff first. David, what were your thoughts on Sunday?
James is spot on. He stole a lot of my thunder. I thought that Liverpool surprised us a little bit by bringing Trent Alexander-Arnold towards the center of the pitch, but it was very impressive how we kept our shape. We stayed narrow. We stayed together. We scored that goal early on, and I think us scoring that goal early on gave us an advantage. We looked for opportunities to counterattack in the first half. We had some good gameplay, but overall it was just kind of a let's defend against them counterattacking performance. Mm-hmm. But in the second half, when we moved Pablo Fornals to the center of the pitch, he had a work-like performance. He helped Rice and Sushek win a lot of balls in the midfield. We started to control it more, even though we didn't have the majority of the possession. I thought it was nervy at the end there. That Sadio Mane miss, I thought that was going in. But
I don't know how he missed it.
I
I don't know how he missed it.
Than them in the second half.
I mean,
I agree that.
I think Bobby Moore from the heavens kind of, you know what I mean, kind of send a gust of wind to blow that one away from the goal. Because man, I don't know how I missed that thing.
I agree with Tom that Origi goal was class. I don't think Craig Dawson could have done anything. He just spun and turned around very quickly.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was a chance for him to go down soon enough. I also agree that VAR played a huge role in the match. And a lot of the calls were like 50-50. They could have gone either way. I think with the own goal, I think Angelo Ogbonna, he had position. He jumped straight up. I don't think he jumped into Alisson Becker. His arm went a little bit into his arm, but I think that was natural just because when you jump up, your arm goes up. So if it had gone either way, I wouldn't have been bothered.
You get to jump in that situation, all right?
Yeah, and he jumped straight up. He didn't jump into Alisson. Alisson was more going into him to try to get the ball.
Alisson pulled a Roberto. He pulled a Roberto. The ball went in on his fist.
It depends if you jump up and lead with the elbows, but he never did that.
Yeah,
but I'm sure we'll get onto VAR in a second. But I will say it was very sour grapes from Klopp afterwards, saying that it was West Ham of old, etc. And again, I know it's something that we'll probably come on to.
Klopp does not have a gracious tone in his body. The man's a great manager, but he's absolutely he's a baby.
For all the praise that he gave us in the build-up, it was very naive for him to think that he could get Trent involved in the play and bring him into the middle of the park and leave the two centre halves very high, because clearly, if he is as good as manager as what he says he is, and his stats have shown, he would have known that this is a different West Ham team and that we will capitalise on the break. So it's very naive, and then to have the sour grapes afterwards and complain that it was not, it was the West Ham of old performance. Clearly, he hasn't watched us this season, because you do not do that on our current form of thinking that you can pile the pressure
Definitely.
on.
Yeah,
it definitely ain't West Ham of old, because we don't beat Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? This is a new improved West Ham.
First of all, hello to John Nolan in Philadelphia down the square below me here. How you doing, John?
Good, Lee. You all right?
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm great. I'm doing well. Yeah, I thought the Fornals goal, was as West Ham a goal as you're ever going to see. That's a David Moyes West Ham goal. You know what I mean? I think it's Dawson steals the ball. Declan starts the break. Bowen makes the run. He sees Antonio is offside. He goes to Fornals instead. And Fornals just says, "Screw it, I'm going for it," and Alisson kind of muffs it, and there it is. And you're absolutely right, Tom. I mean, who doesn't know that that's how we play? That's how we play. The other thing is, it's funny to me. Charlie Walsh, you guys, everybody knows Charlie. He put a thing on Twitter. He did the watch along for Hammers Chat this week, and somebody in the watch along in the comment section called us West Set Piece Ham. West Set, as if that's an insult of some sort. I mean, I don't care if we score from set pieces or penalties. I don't care if we score screamers from 30 yards out or tap-ins. I just want goals. So if they come up for set pieces, fine. That's fine. That's not a problem with me at all.
Yeah, but I like just to interrupt and say that if that wasn't the only part of our game, that would be an insult, right? If we were in the Sam Allardyce era where that was the only part of our game plan, then it would be an insult. But that's not the only part of our game. We defend resolutely. We counterattack well. We don't counterattack in an ugly fashion where it's just a long ball over the top. It's not Tony Pulis. It's not Sam Allardyce.
Right.
The problem is
to me, that's not an insult.
The problem is because we're good at it. That's the reason why.
Well,
we're
they
good
hate
at
us
set pieces.
because we're good at set pieces and we're good at the counter. And these big clubs and their managers and their fans, they cannot stand what we're doing. It drives them crazy. We're not supposed to be in their neighborhood. We're not supposed to be beating them and competing with them. It's just driving them absolutely nuts. The Liverpool reaction to this game was shocking to me. I mean, I know they hadn't lost all season, but they were absolutely just, I don't know, they were crushed. And I was like, you guys, you win a lot of trophies. You're very successful.
They can't handle it. None of the big boys can handle it when somebody upsets the apple cart. They
can't handle it. It drives them absolutely batty. Anyway, John, we were just talking about happy things from Sunday, our favorite things from Sunday. What were some of your favorite things? Raindrops on roses and whiskers on Pablo Fornals.
Everything was my favorite thing, Lee.
Oh, that's right.
Absolutely.
I skipped Lucas. I'll come back to you,
everything.
Lucas. I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Just
You're not important here, Lucas. How dare you?
I forgot. I'm sorry. Come on. I'm all
Man's
giddy.
been waiting the longest time to say
I'm all
something.
giddy.
I just like listening to everybody.
Lucas is listening to punk rock while we're doing this. I know that for sure. So, anyway, go ahead, John. We'll come back to Lucas in a bit. What were you saying? Go ahead.
Nothing specifically, just everything. I mean, what a time to be a Hammer, right? Everything seems to be going our way. You've knocked off Liverpool and Man City the last few weeks. I said last week, we're not ready to have the conversation about being in a title race, are we? But, I mean, that's the kind of form we're in and the kind of teams that we're beating. So, at the minute, everything's just good, and it's just good. And as Hammers, we've seen a lot of bad. And we know the bad is always right around the corner. So, I'm just happy to be enjoying it game by game. And, the team, just the commitment, Moyes' tactics, the way we play. It's exciting to watch. It's the best West Ham team I've ever seen, easily.
A bunch of scrubs, a bunch of guys nobody knew about, nobody wanted, guys who got cast off from other clubs, and all of a sudden, we're putting something together. And as you said, John, the bottom could fall out at any time. We know that, and so we have to enjoy it where we can. Lucas, what were your thoughts? See if I can get something to work here.
Oh, thanks, Lucas. Great input. All right, next. John, back to you.
Lucas mainly is here to wear that hat, that sweet Mets hat. Next year's our year, by the way, the Mets. Next year. That's our year. You guys know that, right? Okay, anyway, go ahead.
I mean, just like everyone said, I'm just super, super proud of the boys. It was a big win. I would have never thought we'd be joint second right now.
Yeah. Just
happy Hammer. It's great to be a West Ham fan, and I love just seeing the Pig Six fan base cry every day.
Liverpool people were coming after me on Twitter. I don't really talk to other teams' fans on Twitter. I don't really talk to fans of other clubs. I don't target them. I don't say much about other clubs at all. I talk almost entirely about West Ham. I don't really care about other clubs, really, honestly, unless we're playing them that week. I don't care about them. I don't bait them. But they were just coming to me and finding me to make nasty comments, and I didn't ask you, but they were so upset about this because, as somebody said, you can't. It's the spoiled child. They're used to getting everything they want, and so they don't get it, and they're like, "What's going on?" Well, this is a good question. I don't know if we're going to get to it tonight, but this is a good question. We just got a lot of other stuff to get to, but I appreciate you asking that question. And by the way, I like your tweets and your Instagram stuff. Also, this guy's tweets and Instagram stuff are always pretty good.
So I am intrigued for that, but I'm also intrigued at the Family Guy tab on YouTube that's open. What is happening on that?
It was like a 24-second clip. God knows I can't play it, or they'll West Ham clips us. They'll shut us down. But I probably
free that man.
It's probably something I sent to my coworkers. I send my coworkers comedy clips all the time, all day. These were the viewership numbers for, and I know that he got them mixed up. It should be West Ham Liverpool. I know the guy who runs the site. It's a good guy. These were the U.S. viewership numbers for our match. That's a really big number, especially being not on NBC. It's on NBC Sports Network, which is the cable channel, cable/streaming channel, not the big network.
Sorry, how did Newcastle get on the big network ahead of Man United City?
That's a good question. I have no idea. I'm not in NBC programming because that's a weird choice. I mean, we crushed the rest of and I know Liverpool has a lot to do with it. Don't get me wrong. I do. But I'm just saying that was a great way for us to get into the hearts and minds of American fans with a game like that, played in London Stadium with the atmosphere that it had, with the result that it had. If you look at the college football broadcast, college football is a very, very big sport here. If you look at the college football broadcast for the last week, this number, 946,000 viewers, may not sound like a lot. It's more than about half of the college football broadcast last week had. Penn State's game got fewer viewers. The Texas game got fewer viewers.
Oh, John.
No, I'm serious. No.
He's coming after me.
No. I didn't.
In fairness, Lee, they did play Maryland.
That was nothing personal. No, I didn't mean that. All I'm saying is like there were major college football programs that had fewer viewers than West Ham over the weekend. This is a really big number, and it just goes to show, one, that the Premier League has a foothold here in this country, but two, that was a great result for us as Americans, as American Hammers. It showed everybody who we are and what we are.
Put that number back up.
Yes.
Put it back up.
Yes.
Look at it's not just that Liverpool are big. It's that West Ham are massive, because you're telling me that Man United, Man City is only about a little over half.
It's a little over
of
half.
What we drew. I mean, we shouldn't discredit ourselves there. The way that we're playing this season, people want to watch us.
Yes. Yes, they do. They know. Listen, I'm getting people talking to me about West Ham. I'm getting people asking me about West Ham. This happened at my kids' soccer practices and soccer games. People are mentioning it. People, it used to be that they would kind of laugh at me or, have some sort of, commiseration. But now they're like, hey, these guys are good. You're good. What's going on? This is a big number. And as I said, as you mentioned, John, it kind of crushes everybody else. Look at poor MLS. I mean, what is the point, honestly? 96,000 people. There were literally more people like in Michigan Stadium this weekend than there were watching Nashville versus Red Bulls. Anyway, it's huge. And, it is not just Liverpool. It's also West Ham. So, yeah, it was just a great showing for us here in this country, which I wanted to point out since we are still, in fact, American Hammers TV. Now, of course, the downside, we lose Ogbonna. Nobody knows for how long. He's going to have a scan later this week. A lot of Twitter, West Ham Twitter is the panic room because they immediately go to he's gone for the season. And he might be, but we don't know that yet. He could be gone for 2 to 4 weeks. He could be gone for 6 to 8 weeks. He could be gone for the season. He's 32, 33 years old. I mean, it could be a really, really, really difficult injury to come back from if it's that severe. So if we do assume the worst, do you guys bring in a center back in the January window? Does it mean you don't bring in somebody else? And I want to fold that in too with our guy Daniel Krasinski here. Am I saying his name correctly? Anybody?
Yeah.
I think it's Daniel Kretinsky.
Is it Kretinsky? Okay, I apologize. I'm never good at
I
pronouncing.
think if someone said it'd be easy to insult him on Twitter because it'd be like he's a cretin. So I think it's like
okay, fair enough. All right. Well, I mean, I
could be wrong. Let me look.
I would hope he's not, but yeah. Are we sure about this, Fo? Do we know?
Yeah,
sure?
I would say if it's obviously I know the Americans are
It's at least a
more well
season.
versed in ACL injuries than most, but it's sorry, John and Saquon, I didn't mean to upset you again. But if I think if it's a full tear, he's probably, considering his age, at least 12 to 15 months. If it's partial, probably around the same sort of time. Hopefully,
it's
just
a
strain.
tear? Are we sure it's a tear?
The way that the club said it looked like it's either going to be a partial tear or a tear. The fact that he carried on for a few minutes afterwards probably did not help the fact that if it was
I'm sure it
torn,
didn't. Yeah.
it went. Maybe the gods were looking out for him to get a few stitches in his face, really. But no, I think centre back is two main priorities. Although I would say I think number one, that Hozolek or Holozek or whatever you call him, he's got to be bang on the money now to come in simply because of the connections with that Daniel and the club. We need a backup striker. It makes sense. But I think the other one for me, I think, is probably going to be Coletta Carr, because they spoke about Santos, the old Marseille
is that
boy.
guy back in whose name isn't even pronounced that way? It's pronounced Czar or something?
Yeah, because that Santos would come in and has worked with City and Rob Newman before, and he was at Marseille as one of the scouts or player, representatives, something like that. Anyway, it makes a lot of sense if it is Coletta Carr and potentially a cut price deal, potentially. And I think if 12 to 15 million is the reported fee, you can't knock that, especially when you're going to need some experience from the Europa League, Champions League, stuff like that. So I think it would make sense. I think Vlahovic is obviously a nice thing, or not Vlahovic, sorry. Milenkovic is a big one as well, but potentially going to not cost a lot more. And if it is somebody for the future as a replacement for Ogbonna, or slowly being around for the team and being a backup, because I don't think obviously he gets a place straight away, because I think Dawson is at the top of that pecking order. It's a great cover to have, but I think for the money potentially that's been sort of talked about, I think that Coletta Carr one makes the most amount of sense.
Well, I'm wondering. I fear if it's a severe tear, as we're talking about, if we really are talking about months here. Ogbonna's in his early 30s, and I God forbid, I I'd love for him to come back, but I think we have to think about the eventuality that he does not come back ever, or does not come back to the Premier League, or does not come back to West Ham. I hope that doesn't happen, but I guys, we have to talk about that. So Koletikar, I know there's been talk about Tarkowski again. I don't really like him very much. Is it possible to, replace Ogbonna like for like, or even is it possible to upgrade
More
from
Croatians.
I think we've already got a replacement. I believe we've already got a replacement in our ranks, and it's Issa Diop for me. I don't understand why people don't rate this kid. He was touted many years ago to go to Manchester United. I think he's going to be trained up behind the scenes to go with Zuma, and them two together will be a force, and then we'll get a Koletikar. I've heard that. I know someone who's close to the club who's told me very good signs that Koletikar could be on his way in January out of Marseille, but whether he comes to us is another thing. The only reason why he didn't come to us in the summer is because his wife was either just had a kid or she was just about to have a child, and he didn't want to move his family in that sort of situation, especially with COVID and everything else. But I would
say though, it's not so much. My point was not so much we need him because he needs to start, because I don't think he would above Diop and Dawson at the moment on current form, but just because with all the competitions we're going to need another centre back. Plus, I think that the youth team players, although Baptiste etc., are supposed to be very good, one for the future. I don't think they're ready to have.
You can't put
I don't think Baptiste is ready at this point.
No,
I don't think
you can't go and use a youngster. But as I was saying, Koletikar, 15 million, I think it is, roughly, and he's looking good signs. But I believe in Issa Diop, mate. I really do. I think what's going to happen is they're going to go with Dawson against Wolves. They're going to train him up, so he's going to have good training sessions with Zuma. And the Manchester City game, I'll be very shocked if Dawson's in there over Diop, especially against pace. Obviously we need a striker at this club. We need a covering left back, because if Cresswell goes down, then we're in trouble.
I mean, so a center back is looking like a done deal then, basically, is what you guys are saying. Because my question was, can you get along with basically three in all these competitions we're in?
The only other way
in European football after January.
Yeah, the only other way you could go around it, but then you're losing that threat from midfield, just putting Declan in there with Zuma.
I hate that idea. I understand what you're saying, James, but I hate.
You don't want to move Cresswell.
It is a good. It's not ideal. Don't get me wrong. But I must admit, for the time that they was together in there, they look very solid. Even though it's only a couple of minutes, you just tell they look fucking very, very good. But then,
that's a point, though, because Diop against Genk.
Yeah, and Dan Lawless on Twitter, who I respect immensely, but he suggested moving Johnson to center back and then playing Supal in his place. I didn't agree with that.
I don't like that.
We'll probably see, won't it? It'll depend on how much money is available in January. I think striker's number one.
Sure.
And if you look at what Moyes has done before as well, there's always the option to go three at the back and pull Cresswell in slightly. Played that system a few times. Masuaku outside of Cresswell. I mean, Moyes has shown the ability to adapt and change. Now, I wouldn't want to do that in a season where we're flying and mess with things. But, I mean, who has come in for Moyes and played straight away anyway? So anybody we get is going to be for European competition, I would hazard to guess, which, to be honest, there's two throwaway games coming up now in the group stage, and then we're in the knockouts where you're going to play your best team anyway. So we may do with three.
It's
I'm just reading that comment there.
If we beat Rapid Vienna, sorry, James, if we beat Rapid Vienna on Thanksgiving Day, which is I think the 25th, then the last one really is a throwaway because we've won the group. But it's not quite a throwaway yet.
If we don't get out of the group, and if we don't win the group, there's something drastically wrong. I just read that comment about Issa Diop's concentration. He makes one mistake against Genk. Fucking Craig Dawson made a mistake last year at Newcastle, got sent off. That's all forgotten about, isn't it? Like, people have got to give Diop a bit of credit. He played against Man City the other week, kept a clean sheet. He's kept a clean sheet in every game, barring the Genk game in the Europa League. And people criticise him for one mistake. Come on.
You know what?
He's just fine. I think him and Dawson are two sides of a different coin, though. Issa's good bringing the ball out, and he's got pace, and Dawson's got no pace, and he's better in the air. So depending on which game that you got to play him for.
Diop did have that second season syndrome where he was absolutely awful at everything that you've said he's good at, which was bringing the ball out. The mistakes were there. I do agree though with James. When they partnered together in, I think it was the first Europa League game against Zagreb, I thought they were just imperious. The pair of them looked sensational together. They both speak the same language. They both are quick defenders on their feet. They're both monsters in the air, as Jose Mourinho said. He's an absolute monster. So the talent's there. He's young enough to do it. And yes, it was one mistake against Genk, but I know Craig Dawson's made a mistake, but I think it's a good luxury that we have that we could say, right, well, we can bring in either one of Dawson or Diop at the moment, and we would expect them to do similar sort of things. But in the long term, James is right. I would go with Diop because his ceiling is obviously a lot higher than Craig Dawson's, and I think there's less mistakes in Diop than Dawson specifically.
Well, Dawson too, to me, has always been inconsistent. When he joined on loan last season, he looked really good. When the permanent signing kicked in, he immediately experienced a dip in form. By the end of last season, let's remember he was almost a liability. There were 2 own goals in one game, if you guys remember. Arsenal, with the 3-3 game.
Well, even a few weeks ago at Southampton, when Broha just left him for dead on the halfway line, and it was like, Craig, why are you running all the way out there? They both got the mistakes in.
Craig Dawson's a good player. He's a good player to a point. He can play one game good, but if you want him to play game after game after game, he's not. It spaces itself out, and it's not very good.
He did have that.
I totally agree, James.
He did have that incredible first month when he came when he got nominated for Premier League Player of the Month, but then after that, it was like that for the rest of the season. So,
well, he regressed to the mean. He reverted to form. I think. I mean, he's a good player. He's not a great.
I'm just reading that comment there. I'm just reading that comment there from Eamon. Right, he said about reading his comment. Don't pick on Issa Diop over one mistake, and that is the attitude. Like Issa Diop's a good player, right? Yeah. He's gonna get partnered with Zuma, right? What better player to go with than Kirk Zuma, French speaking, French international, roughly around the same age, right?
Yeah.
He can't relate to people like Angelo Ogbonna or Balbuena, but he can relate to Kirk Zuma. I'm telling you that now. Like, that's a player he can relate to, right? And Kirk will treat him, will teach him ways of defending, basically. True. Whereas Craig Dawson is, let's be honest, as fans, he's a backup player. And that's all Craig Dawson is.
I was just about to say what Fo said is Zuma slotted over to that left centre half position the other day. But the one positive about Ogbonna is the fact that he was obviously dominantly left-footed, and that's what made him a shoe-in for that position. So
and we don't have that.
I'm annoyed with you, Fo, because you've stolen where I was going to go next. But I think Coletta Carr, if I'm right in speaking, is a left-sided centre half as well.
Yeah. Right now, I think it's with Boyce, it's going to be situational.
Yeah. Like, because if we sign Coletta Carr, he starts. He will come in and he will start. He's a very, very good player. He's better than Dawson. And
I think he's better than Dawson, yeah.
Yeah, he's better than Dawson. And then if people are saying they're not certain with Issa, Coletta Carr will start.
Transfermarkt says he's right-footed, by the way.
No, I'm sure he's left-footed. No.
Okay.
I agree.
I'm with Lucas's line of thinking on that because I think it is situational, isn't it? I mean, I want Craig Dawson starting against Burnley. Yes. I don't want him starting against Liverpool, but against Burnley, he's got to start because he's better in the air. He's got more muscle. Diop's good, don't get me wrong, and I agree with you in some facts that he's got the highest ceiling. He's going to learn more off of Zuma. Centre backs take a long time to learn their trade. He's got the next 4 or 5 years to hit his peak. I mean, he's young, really young. But I still want a big bastard, big doors going up against, Chris Wood.
I
don't think anyone's locked in. So like if I see Dawson play against Wolves, I won't be that surprised. If I see Diop against Aston Villa, I won't be surprised.
What I like about Diop is, and I've
he's
talked
French.
about that's part of it, of course. We've talked about, although anyway, that's another thing altogether.
He's got nothing to lose.
Yeah, he is. He's fast enough, he's quick enough that when he makes a mistake, he can recover. And I know we've said this before, but a Dawson error and he's beaten. Like, he's not going to recover from it. He's not going to get back. He's not going to make up for it. Diop can actually get back, make a clearance, at least put the ball out for a corner, do something in what's the word I'm looking for? In a dangerous situation, he can get us out of it. Whereas Dawson is not going to be able to do that.
Diop's got all the attributes.
Coletta does start on the left for Marseille.
He does? Okay.
Yeah.
Diop's got all the attributes to be a world beater. He's got everything in his locker.
He does.
He's tall, he's fast, he's strong. Offensively, he's fantastic at heading the ball. I think what he's lacking is consistency, and some of that's down to game time. So you're going to give him a run. I mean, for me, Dawson's starting in Europe and Cups and against Burnley, and the rest of the time, I'm going with Issa for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I think even what he's trying to say here is kind of the way probably most of us feel. I mean, I do think Diop gets a little lost sometimes. I think he wanders a little bit sometimes. But in terms of athleticism, in terms of speed and pace, I would rather have him than Dawson.
To be fair, though, we said similar things to that last season, but we still finished 6th. So I'm not disagreeing with anybody. I'm just saying, like, I know people are saying, well, he's not good enough for us to get top 4. Well, he was outstanding against arguably one of the best teams in the world the other day. So,
he was Tom. You just don't know what you're going to get with Dawson.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand the criticism that Issa gets. I really, really just do not understand it. When there's players who's been in their ranks,
James. I'm with you on that.
Because he's played in Europe this season. It's the first time against Genk, the last game that we've conceded a goal. He's played in every game in Europe. He played against Manchester United away in the League Cup and played pretty decent. He played really well against Manchester City in the League Cup, pretty decent. He makes one error, and people are on his case saying he's not good enough. And it's not just on the comments; it's in general.
I think people are wary of remembering how his second season was, but with the same, breath, you've got to say the same thing about Dawson, is that he's had a lot more mistakes. Yes, he's had more game time over the last 2 years than Diop, especially the back end of last season. But what we're saying, though, is that Diop now, he's got and crying with Zuma to learn to. As James said, he's the perfect. He literally is like Zuma 2.0. Bar the strength, they're very similar in terms of bringing the ball out, pace, etc. So he has that higher ceiling than Dawson. So I think it is very up and down almost with, which one you would prefer to go with.
We're in a win-win situation, in my opinion.
Exactly. It's good for us, but I think people are still a little bit worried about how god-awful he did look in that season, like the second season. Is that first season? Nobody could touch him. He was absolutely
first season. Incredible. He was fantastic.
He was one of the best centre-backs in the league at that point.
Yes. And then his form dropped. We talked about it. You go back and watch old episodes of our show back when Tim and I were doing it. He dropped off considerably in that second season, even toward the end.
I think it's the partners, though, Lee. I think it's the partners.
From 50 million for him, and I was like, no, don't do that. He's worth more than that.
When Mourinho was talking about buying for 60 million, you can go back and look at the tapes if you have that kind of time. I said at the time, don't sell him. He's young. Yeah. He's 20-something.
So,
don't sell him.
Lee, let me ask everybody a question then. So if Diop needs game time to play and progress and be the player that we all think he can be, what kind of centre-back are you buying in January? Are you going in for somebody that walks into the team, or do you buy another Dawson backup like person?
Competition for places, I would say, which is why
you need someone. I think we need someone who's going to help us compete on all fronts.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's a money issue. How much can we spend? I mean, this new guy has bought into the club, James. This Kretinsky guy has bought into the club. I mean, do we have 40 million pounds to spend? 50 million? We need a striker.
I'll tell you what. We want to have some dough.
I don't know.
We want to have some dough in January. Let's put it like that. Because
we certainly should have.
We should.
Yeah.
And David Sullivan is no longer majority owner of West Ham.
There's no excuses.
That, right?
There's no excuses. Right.
The thing is as well, we can't, and I know I put something about this on Twitter the other day, and I quote tweeted it with the Ogbonna thing, because I remember when myself and Gio and Charlie, when I was back doing stuff on Hammers Chat, we had a discussion, and we were saying Gio was like, well, I think Ogbonna's one of the top 10 centre-backs in the league. And I'm like, yeah, all right, okay, yeah, come off of it. And then when I actually sat and we spoke about it and we thought, like, realistically, over the last 2-3 seasons, consistently, Ogbonna's been one of the best centre-backs in the league. If you actually look at him and how he's played, and if, depending on if you're an analytical guy or you judge off of numbers, or if you watch the game and you see how he plays, but I would argue he's been one of the top 10 centre-backs in the league in the last few years. Like I said, I laughed at Gio when he said it, but when I look at it, I actually think it's true. So we need to bring in somebody of similar ilk. You can't, and I know we're joking in the comments saying like Phil Jones and stuff, and I'm sure that's what the board are dreaming of, to save a few pennies and getting someone like that. But you need to bring in of someone of that caliber, potentially younger, but somebody that is going to compete straight away for places.
Which is why I was asking, can we do that? And is it possible, with all due respect to Ogbonna, whom I love, can we upgrade a little bit? Is it possible?
Well, I'll tell you what.
We need to, Lee.
We better do.
Lee, we better start seeing something this year, because we're in the best position that West Ham's ever been in their history, right? So it's about time that they go out and go, right, we need a centre half.
If we're not going to strengthen in January, then we might as well never strengthen at all, because this
exactly. So I just don't understand.
I think the massive thing for us is, because that ownership change is the key thing for me, especially in terms of spending. Because
well,
the
look
fact
at this.
that
I mean, this is what's key to me. Sorry, I'm using the wrong screen. This is below 50% now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yes,
the end is coming, Lee.
Well, it is coming.
If we're saying that 2023 is that cut-off date for David Sullivan, the fact that he has parted with a large chunk over nearly half of his shares that he had, I think that means that a lot of the investment in January will come from Kretinsky's back pocket, because Sullivan, as we know, is going to be a penny pincher and a saver. And if he wants to maximise his profits, he won't be putting in as much money as, say, Kretinsky will in January. So I think if we're looking to anybody, yes, obviously Sullivan has the final say because he's the majority shareholder. But I think Kretinsky is the one, if he's going to make a full purchase of the club in 2023, potentially, he's the one that's going to be wanting to invest in January. So at the same time, yes, Sullivan and Gold may have to cough up a few extra million, but I think the large portion of investment will come from Kretinsky's side of things. And I don't think that'll be a lot, but I reckon that will be hopefully 50 to 60 million.
There has to be signings in January. Right, there's no two ways about this now. I don't want to keep hearing this crap that I keep hearing on different platforms and different people saying, "Oh, we don't need a striker. Moyes can't find a striker that he's looking for." I'm sorry, I've heard all that bollocks before. I don't want to hear it no more. Right? There's millions of players on this planet, and West Ham can't go and get a backup striker. Now,
no, I don't think. Listen, James, if we hear that again in January, there's a major problem. All right,
there is a major problem.
I'm a huge fan of David Moyes, as we all know. We're all huge fans of David Moyes right now. I trust him explicitly. I expect investment in January. I will trust him to find the players we need, because he's done a really good job so far. No question about that. But I think there has to be money spent in January. I cannot imagine why Kretinsky would buy into the club without eventually wanting to be majority shareholder.
He wants to bring more massive Slavic bastards to this beautiful.
He does.
He's coming.
What it is with Kretinsky, I believe that he's dipping his toe in and seeing what it's all about. And then, as someone just said there, 2023 he's going to make his move. Then his missus is worth saying. I see it today on another platform.
She's a lot wealthier than he is.
17 billion she's worth.
Yeah.
and I saw a thing today that apparently he values Kretinsky. He values the club from 600 to 700 million, which is not too far off, I guess, from what.
That's more than that's at least what Sullivan would want, and probably more. I mean, 700 million is, what did Newcastle go for? 350, something like that, to the Saudis. I mean,
we're worth. I know it's not, but we're worth double that on paper.
The Czech haven't done us wrong yet.
Well, I mean, so 700 would be about right, is what I'm saying. But I think Sullivan, was looking for 650, 700 at a minimum. And if Kretinsky thinks that's the valuation, well, then he's probably prepared.
His wife can pick up the tab. It's fine.
Like I said, I think that's why he parted with not all of it, but a lot of it is because I think he's not the one that wants to make a larger investment, especially if he wants to get his nice tax-free money at the end of 2023. It would make more sense that Kretinsky potentially with there. Also, Tarkowski can get fucked. I don't want him anywhere near the club because he laughed at the
I agree.
idea that he wouldn't come to us because he wouldn't be challenging and he would just be
I don't understand
I don't like
that.
it.
With
I
what
don't like
makes me laugh is why would you go for Tarkowski when you've already got a similar player in Dawson?
Right. I don't like it. I don't want him.
This makes no sense to me.
He is a bastard. I'll take him.
I don't like Tarkowski's attitude. I don't like the way he's treated his club. I don't like what he said about our club. I don't want him. I don't. This whole, I feel as though everything we have right now is based on chemistry, and it's based on belief. And
family.
you throw a Kyrie Irving in there, and it's gonna it's gonna destroy it.
You throw a flat earther in there.
You throw a Kyrie you throw one of these guys in there who's a problem in the locker room or whatever the expression used in England is, who's going to destroy the chemistry of the team. Everything's going to fall apart.
I was actually going to say that as well. Is that I think probably the biggest priority is getting high character players in, whoever they are, because like you said, I mean that what's going on in the changing room right now is just. Beautiful. There's something there. There's something special building. There is a belief. There's a togetherness, and one bad apple can just fuck it all up, and we can't afford to do that at all.
I think
Moyes knows that. I think Moyes gets that.
I think the most sense for us, obviously, centre back, striker, but I think Kaleta and Zolek or whatever will be the two, hopefully, and then obviously I think Lingard because of the character that he brought to the dressing room last season.
Neil, I'm going to expel you. Neil, I'm going to expel you. This is your last warning, Neil. Okay, no more dad jokes. All right. Anyway.
And then
what's changed? What's changed with Lingard? Why is he coming now when he didn't come earlier?
Because of the fee.
Yeah, but the thing is, and I understand, like Man United is his club at the end of the day, and he wanted to go there to fight for a place. But the fact that Solskjaer has just basically at times just abandoned him on the bench, and then the fact that he said even when it came to the contract talks, because they see us as a top 4, top 6 rival at this point, and then when it came to the contract talks, it was like, oh well, he's going to get more game time. Since then, he's hardly played again. So it's
but he ain't going to, is he?
They're not.
Let's be honest. There's no way Lingard's going to get in front of all them players. But let's be honest, it's the sign
at this point with our shit.
It's the signing on fee. That's where the damage is. The signing on fee is Lingard holding out for the signing on fee.
I mean, if he's not getting in front of Jadon Sancho, and mind you, I do think Jadon Sancho is going to be a great player, but he hasn't done shit, and hasn't looked that great. If he's not getting in front of him, he's got to come home.
Well, to be fair, he's not getting in front of any of our players at the minute either.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a valid point, John. Does he step in front of Rama?
But I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be off the radar of a striker. I don't want us to go, we're going to get Jesse Lingard, and then we don't go and get a striker.
I agree. We've got to have a striker, no question about it.
Even though, and I will say, the last thing I was going to say, a left back as well, I think obviously is a massive priority because I shat myself when Arthur Masuaku came on the other day, and I still do every time he takes to the pitch and has to defend.
I shat myself, but he actually played pretty well.
I don't know. I didn't.
Although it was more in a forward role.
I thought he was terrible against Genk, though. To be fair, I thought it was terrible against Genk. But
he just didn't look interested. He didn't look bothered. He just does not look interested when he comes on to play. He baffles me. And I know James. I know you've harped on about the fact that Cresswell can't defend, but I thought he absolutely shut Salah down on that left-hand side the other day. It was a very tough ask for him, and he did do very, very well back there.
I've always rated Cresswell, Tom.
Cresswell's defending.
I love Cresswell.
I think a backup left back that can actually defend with some pace.
What it is, Cresswell can't play every game. He's playing every game at the minute. Let's be honest. He's playing in Europa League. He's playing in League Cup games, I think, and he's playing in the Prem, and he can't do it. So we need a backup left back. It's obvious. I thought he played. I thought he was one of the man of the matches on Sunday. Cresswell against Salah. I really did. I thought he was top class. But it is a worry though because we're relying on one left back at the club, and you've got to deal with Arthur Masuaku.
And we've been talking about left back for as long as I can remember. I mean, one because Cresswell.
Arthur's not good enough. I'm sorry,
he's
but
not
I've heard
back.
Not
Yeah,
as
but
a
he's-
defender, no.
He's just not.
Can't
He's not
defend.
Premier League standard for me.
No.
He's just not Premier League
I
standard.
have preferred him when he's further forward, playing as a winger.
Yeah,
and I know Moyes played
Yeah.
in there in the
He's
league.
a back-
I agree. He's only good playing further forward
Yes.
or with
Yeah, but if you
someone
want-
who's
if
linking
you
up
want
with
a
him.
player to go
across the
further
field, we don't
forward.
need to worry about him.
Even
I
when
agree.
he's played,
David,
he
I
just
agree.
does not look interested. He does not.
Yeah, but if
against
you want a
them,
player to
he
go
was
further
absolutely
forward,
awful.
right? Go and buy a winger. Do you know what I mean?
Well, right,
Like-
because that's what Masuaku is. He's a winger. He's a backup
Yeah, but he's-
winger. He's not good
I
enough.
don't think he's
to-
that. I don't know what happened to him, but I honestly believe that Arthur Masuaku was a number 10 that somebody stuck a left back and he just kept playing there. Because he's not. They say he's the most skillful player of the club. Like all the step overs, all the
I
extra he
don't
can do,
believe
phenomenal.
I agree with John. I think he's out of position.
I remember being at that
Well,
Chelsea
I agree.
game at the home, and I just couldn't believe what I was watching in the stands when he was dribbling and doing what he did. But the thing is, he tries to, even now he tries to do that in stupid positions. He just
Too
tries
much.
to dribble past
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, but I
And
read
he
a thing
shouldn't
the
do.
other day about Masuaku saying how much he loves being at West Ham and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, you only love being at West Ham, bruv, because you ain't going to be playing the Premier League for anyone else. That's the only reason. You're just not.
He's
You're not.
collecting 50, 60 grand a week.
I mean,
Yeah, so-
we don't need another number 10 though, do we? Do we need another number? That's we're
No,
not
we
gonna
don't
put him in
know.
that
No
position.
tens, mate.
We're not going to put him there.
We've got
I'm not saying
Vlasic.
that.
We've
I'm
got
just saying-
Vlasic.
Yeah, I don't think that
Yeah.
was John's point. I was just saying, I think
No, I
the
understand.
reason for
He's
his
good for the
not
dressing
being
room.
who we
He's
thought he
not
was.
I wanted to say this real quick.
I understand, David, what
When
you
we
meant. Yeah,
when we were talking about Lingard and John said he's not going to get in the team over anybody, I don't think that matters because we need some fucking impact subs.
Oh, you talking? I think
100%.
he was talking about. Oh, yeah. Well, listen. I mean, Lingard comes here. He's to West Ham,
And he'll at least play in Europe. For
Well,
God's
we all know
sake.
that David Moyes
exactly,
loves
Lucas.
an
Exactly.
impact
He's
sub.
going to play. He's going to play. He's going to play if he comes to West Ham.
Man,
He will.
fuck Ole. I fucking hate him.
Ole.
So I wanted to show you guys something that I saw on Twitter today. This guy, Vladislav, I don't know what his last name is. Anyway, if you want to follow him, there's his.
Vladislav.
Vladislav.
So he's a Sparta Prague
Slavia.
supporter,
Definitely.
and I'll tell you what,
Slav.
we had a long exchange today about Kretinsky and Sparta and West Ham, and he was really helpful talking about Hlozek and some of their players. This is what he said about Kretinsky, because I made the point that Sparta were actually more successful before Kretinsky took over than they have been since then, and he had a reputation of kind of running things like a David Sullivan, like being very hands-on, And he says, he used to have a hands-on approach. He learned he doesn't do that anymore. It's not a good idea. So he's spending his time and energy in his business concerns and not so much trying to run the football
I
club.
will say what my nan used to say to me as a kid, and it relates to businessmen as well. Children should be seen but not heard. And
Yes.
that's all he needs to be. He needs to be seen but not heard. And if he
Owners
does
should be
that and
seen
puts
and not
money in the
heard.
club, then nobody will complain.
Owners should be seen and not
Sure.
heard.
Like going
Yes.
to dinner with your in-laws.
But
should be
anyway,
seen, but
it was
not
a good
heard.
exchange with this guy who. So what he's telling
Tom,
us,
do we need to talk about your childhood?
Well, no, I used to
I mean,
live with my
what he's-
nan, and
what
I
he's
was a
basically telling
gobshite
us
when
is
I was
like-
growing up. So she
That's
just
why
used
he's
to-
a rebel. That's why he's a rebel now, isn't it?
well, that
I was a bit of a
explains- that
gobshite
explains
growing
the-
up.
that
So she
explains
used
the
to say I
vaping.
should be seen and not heard.
It explains the vaping is it's a rebellious act of yeah. But this guy Vladislav, he's a random guy on Twitter, but Sparta fan. So he was really really helpful in talking about some of their players. Good guy. These Czechs have really impressed me since we've been dealing with them here these last couple of years. I've really found them to be great people when I've come in contact with them. So anyway,
Rob, don't ask that comment for God's sake. You'll set me and James off again.
oh, which comment is it?
What would Jesse Lingard's arrival mean for Vlasic? I'm not.
Oh, well, you know what?
Vlasic is already out the door, mate.
I don't want to talk
Go
about
get the
Vlasic
squad.
right now because I don't think we have to yet. However,
No, Lee,
let me
please
ask you guys this: Declan Rice? It's just the flu, right? The flu,
Yeah,
The
it's the West
flu,
Ham bug, mate. It's the West
the
Ham bug.
Albania and San
No.
Marino. I don't need to.
Thank God. I don't think it was the flu. I think they said it was a cold. Like,
It's the
Yeah.
West
thank
Ham.
God he's not playing international duty.
It's the West
I am
Ham
too.
bug.
Well, I
What do you
wish.
mean?
I mean, he needs to rest, and I very much feel as though he probably went to Southgate and said,
It's
"Look,
David Moyes holding Southgate at gunpoint, saying he's played too much football.
Yes.
It's San Marino and Albania. You don't
Exactly.
Need to play.
Putting his
No,
nuts
what
on the
it
table.
is, what
Yeah.
it is, he learnt his lesson last year when he went to international for pointless games, and he ended up getting bloody injured. And he's thinking, I ain't doing that again.
We need another Dean Ashton. We do not.
No, Declan Rice.
Imagine
is
getting hurt and ruining your season playing against San Marino.
That's exactly. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, England need 3 more points to qualify. Is that not true?
Yeah, it'll be all right. Let the backups like Henderson play.
Eamon,
James, do you
ask Tom that.
Are you in control of Eamon's account, James?
No, I'm not
mate.
doing it. No, I'm not doing it.
Eamon, ask Tom that question.
I'm in
Was
too
it
good a mood. First of all, Arthur's got a good point here.
You're out of order, Lee. He's a paying customer. He's put a comment in. You've got to read it out.
He's not paying me anything. I don't get any money out of this. Believe me when I say I get nothing out of this. Nothing but joy. No, I'm not. No, no. We're gonna ban. You know what? I think we're gonna mute the word Vlasic. For the rest of the. Nothing personal, Lucas. Nothing personal. Unless you want to talk pickles. Unless you want to talk pickles, then we can talk about pickles.
I'm getting Vlasic. I'm getting a kit for Christmas.
Look at
it's going to have 11 on the back. It's going to say Croatian sensation.
Look at John's lovely
glassware. Well, they fit that on the back of his shirt.
Nice.
They
look
better.
At that glassware. Yeah. Everybody shut up and look at the glassware. It's
no,
fantastic.
John lives in a very well-appointed home. Let me just say. And I happen to know that he used to be, at least, and I think he still is, an employee of some sort of public entity. So anybody who wants to investigate, how he's affording all these nice things while he works for a public entity of some sort, I mean, go ahead, because I've been wondering that myself. Anyway, yes, Mark, let's just can we leave it at this? Let's leave it at this. All right. For now,
we need Lingard for January.
Let's leave this Vlasic thing for the time.
How about have them both?
But Lee, where is he? Vlasic.
I don't know, James. Probably in his apartment asleep. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I don't know. It's 2 o'clock.
We ain't getting nowhere near the fucking pitch.
It's 2 a.m. He's I don't know what he's doing. He's like,
leave him alone. Leave him alone. He's injured.
I don't know where he is.
This sounds like the Britney Spears.
What it is, Lee. They can't admit that fever's right all along, and it's hard to go through it. So it's fair enough.
I know
we can all be right.
Come on, Lee. You know it's the truth.
I've never disagreed with you, James. I've always been the one on your side. You know that.
I know, mate. I know.
I've always been on your side on the Vlasic thing. I'm trying to keep peace among our peoples here.
Yeah.
I want to have like harmony.
Lee. You said you're on my side.
Well,
your backside sore, Lee. Is it sore?
I like you as a person,
get off that fence,
Tom.
Lee. Come on.
I like you as a person, Tom. On the Vlasic issue, I might be more on James's side a little bit. But you know what? You're my favorite West Ham fan in the Midlands, and there's nobody else who really comes close.
Listen, Tom, I heard
you don't know anybody else in Midlands.
You don't have to bring that up. Just accept it.
I'm not even in the Midlands.
You might as well.
Charlie Walsh said I look like I'm from Newcastle.
What? Who said that?
Charlie Walsh
said you look like you're from Newcastle?
I'd be from up north.
Do people from up north have a look? I don't know.
Well, hold on. Let me take this off. No, I don't think they wear these.
Fever's right, Fo.
Glasses.
Because where is Vlasic, baby? Where is he, Fo? That's what I'm going to say on that. Move on.
All right. So, okay, you know what? All right. Then let's not even talk about him until next season. I'll tell you when we'll see him, James. I'll tell you, if we manage to beat Vienna and top if we beat Vienna in the next on Thanksgiving Day, we'll top the group in Europa League, and that means that last game against Dinamo at home will be a wash. That's what
I'm not really worried.
Classic play.
I'm not really worried about the Vlasic thing. Give him all the time in the world. Give him the keys to the London Stadium. I couldn't really care less. The one I really want to see that I haven't seen really is Krau.
Yeah,
I want to see it's Krau in the shirt. And
we will. I'm almost guaranteed that it's Krau and Vlasic will have a lot of game time over the next few weeks because our fixture congestion is wild.
It's outrageous.
Disgusting. From here until January, it is disgusting.
No, it's we're going to have to rotate the squad, and we're going to have to rotate the squad in the Premier League too, not just for European. I mean, we're going to see Král in the Premier League. We might see Mark Noble in the Premier League. We're going to see we might see Vlasic. I don't know Vlasic. But honestly, if we bring in Lingard, then you really don't have to worry as much about Vlasic, right? And then you really can sort of say, all right, come along at your own pace, whatever. If we get Lingard in, because then you've got a lot of cover in that, that attacking midfield. But
somebody in my flat will be very angry if I start chatting shit about Mark Noble, but let's just say I never want to see him play again this season.
Oh, shut up.
well,
One game got hurt.
No, I want to see him play in select Europa League games.
What Rice had to do for him the other day. My God, and it cost us because Rice was on a yellow card and couldn't do what he usually did. That's why in the first half we were so tame. Oh,
you don't like seeing Mark Noble slide tackle like
I saw Arthur goddamn Masuaku cover Aaron Cresswell 3 weeks ago, sprinting back 3 different times to cover for him. I don't want to hear this Declan Rice covering for Noble. He can get a game.
I don't know.
He can get a game.
But you don't you guys don't like seeing the Mark Noble slide tackle.
Yeah, but he don't play in the Prem though, does he?
Mark Noble's he's like when I play FIFA and I don't know how to use the controller, and it's like he just slides in.
He's gonna play.
The pass has gone up the pitch. All of a sudden, here comes Mark Noble.
I don't think he plays in the Prem this season.
He might have to. Have you seen our fixture list?
Oh, where the hell is Alex Crowell?
Well, I don't know.
That's why we've signed him.
I don't know. I would rather see Crowell, frankly.
COVID. I think there's fair enough before that. I understand, but if he had COVID the last few weeks, then I understand. He's away with the Czech Republic now. He'll probably play some games. He has to be needed in the next 6 to 8 weeks, 100%. Because Rice and Souček, well, the fact that Rice gets a rest, brilliant. But the one man who does need a rest is the one that keeps bloody playing each week. So Crowell is going to have to come in at some point.
So if we get to the Rapid Vienna game, and Mark Noble starting with Souček, for instance, or Rice, what does that tell you about Alex Crowell?
That he's not ready.
I can't have that, Lee.
Should we give him time?
He's on loan. I mean, look, we didn't spend £30 million on him. Okay, he's on loan. It tells you he's not going to stay around. He's not going to.
But he's played more. He's played more international games than he has for Czech Republic than he has for West Ham.
I mean, I don't think the Czechs are replete with like a huge number of international players. You know what I mean? It's it's not a huge country, basically.
I mean, Moyes. I mean, we talked about this last week, right? I mean, Moyes doesn't just throw people in.
Go back down and leave it there for a second. Let me just count something.
What's that?
Just leave it there because I want to count how many games in how many days that is.
Well, this doesn't even get this.
January
9
games.
January 1st is way down here. So this is
the end of the season.
Yeah.
End of the year.
12. January 1st, and the next one after that is the 16th. So, yeah.
Well, 9 Prem games, I think it is.
Yeah, go back up.
There's an FA Cup game after the 1st of January as well, which will be very close to as well.
So, we're talking about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 games.
14 with the FA Cup in a month and a half.
Yes, 14 games in a month and a half. That's an insane pace. That's a torrid. And by the way, it's Man City, it's Chelsea.
It's Brighton.
It's Arsenal. It's Brighton. They're having a great
Brighton, our bogey team.
It's a quarterfinal in the cup.
I know. But listen.
Southampton, we could never.
Yeah, but we had this the other week. Come on,
Pallars, who've been very good lately.
Yeah, we had this the other week. We was all discussing this the other week. We got Man City, we got Liverpool, we got this. We just took out an unbeaten side of Liverpool, and people are like, we should fear no one because the pressure.
I fear
no one.
I fear fitness, not the opponents.
It's fitness that I worry about.
I agree with Tom. I'm not worried about any match per se. I'm worried about the toll it will take on the team going
forward. But this happens every year, though. Let's be honest here. Right, we get to December, we've got a heavy fixture list. Right, fair enough. We're in the Carabao Cup. Right, but let's be honest. Dynamo Zagreb, we ain't going to go strong. We're going to go out with all fringe players. Yeah. Rapid Vienna, we will go there with a pretty much fringe team. If we get a draw, right, we're as good as we're top in the group. Or if we win it, we're top in the group.
Yeah.
I think we need to sort.
I'm just talking about James. I'm just talking about the volume of games. When was the last time we were in Europa League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, which whatever it used to be called, the EFL Cup, and the Premiership at the same time? we have more depth than we've had in the
The
past,
answer
but
is
this is
never.
a historically unique season.
The
Yeah,
answer
no,
is
but
never.
All the
We've never done
competitions
that
were
in
in
the
at the
But
same
what
time.
it is,
Never
what
in
it
the history
is,
of West Ham. Never.
we're writing it off before something's happened. Fair enough, we've lost Angelo Ogbonna, but let's be honest, we lost Angelo Ogbonna last year, and we've done all right, and we've lost him again, and we'll still do all right.
I believe in the squad. I believe in the manager. I believe in the staff. My concern is David's concern. I don't fear anybody. All right, no club in the world do I fear. Okay, seriously, no joke about that. We've already beaten one of the best teams in the world. Did it on Sunday. Any club in the world, you want to bring in Real Madrid, you want to bring in Bayern, I don't care. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Bring them on.
that's a stretch, Lee, but
I'm just saying I don't fear them. I'm not saying we'd win. I'm saying I don't fear them. All right. There's a difference. All right. I used to be, as we said last week, when we played Liverpool or Manchester City, Manchester United, I would say just keep the goal differential down so it doesn't, so we don't get hurt in the relegation battle. Now I say, you know what, we can get a result out of this game, and we did. So my point is, I don't fear clubs, but I do fear fitness, and I do fear that kind of fixture congestion because, as you said, David, never in the history of West Ham United have we had fixture congestion like that. We've never been in all these competitions at the same time ever.
But
So,
agreeing with James, that's why I think it's crucial we make some signings in the January transfer window
no question.
to mitigate whatever may happen in that
I don't
glut.
fear fitness at all. I think our team is the fittest it's ever been. And if you look
I
at
agree with John on this.
Jared
100%.
Bowen last year, Jared Bowen would
Let
play
John go. Let John go. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, let's let John
played
finish.
17 minutes. He was a 17-minute player and was substituted on the 17-minute mark almost every single time he played. Now he's a 90-minute player. These players are fitter than they've ever been. I think every other team they got the same problem that we do. Chelsea's got the same problem. Man City's got the same problem. Everybody's playing a congested schedule. Nobody's going to be playing at 100%. That's just the way it is. We've got players that have actually played quite little game time, the Lanzinis and Nobles of the world, that can fit in some of those cup games. I think we'll be all right. We don't have any unique issue here. There are other teams that
what people are forgetting here is in these Europa League games, it's a 5 subs. There's 5 subs there.
Right. What I would say to you, both John and James, then, is that it's fair enough. We may be the fittest team we've ever seen, but don't forget, yes, we've got those 13 games in like a month and a half. Throw in the extra 2 qualifiers for some of them, but as Ogbonna showed the other day, you can be as fit as you want. But things like injuries can happen, and if you are putting the body under a lot of stress and
but it's not about the injuries, though, Tom, is it?
Let's be honest.
It's how you handle it.
No, but I know that, but you can be more susceptible to the amount of load that you're putting on the body, and it is going to be.
I've got to disagree there. I look at Cresswell's not going to play this week. He's having 2 weeks off. Bowen's going to be rested. There's Ben Johnson's going to be rested. You know what I mean? Issa's going to be rested. Dawson's going to be rested. There's players in there who's going to be rested. Do you know what I mean? And let's be honest, any player can get injured.
Too. He's got the
right, and any player can get injured at any time. Let's be honest. Right, someone can get injured on it.
You will be more susceptible to it, the amount of load that gets put on the body.
You just need to understand that we're massive and we're flying and we're going to do something this year. That's what you need to understand, bruv. That's what you need to understand. And the sooner you understand it, the better.
From a technical perspective, right, Tom's right. If you go out and play so many games, you are more susceptible to injury. The Ogbonna example, Tom, I kind of disagree with because I think that was just an awkward turn. It just happened. It was something that happened. And on the reverse end, the person who's most susceptible to an injury, Antonio, hasn't even looked anywhere near one this season. So
I don't know. The other day, he ran off against Liverpool in like the 90th minute, and he started grabbing at his hamstring.
But he said, now, Tom, you're right. And here's the thing. The problem is, all of you guys are right, because repetitive stress does cause injuries.
Told you we could all be right.
Well, it's true, but so does a weird turn. So does a guy whose ACL just pops. Yeah,
but it's how you deal with it, though, Lee.
I agree. No, it is. But at some point you run out of players.
The only time I would ever think like that, right, is if we lose Declan Rice. If we lose Declan Rice, I will agree with everyone on this panel and everyone in the chat.
We did last season, and Moy said that's what kept us from getting Champions League, and it might have been. It might have been what kept us from getting Champions League.
Because he's a key cog in the wheel of West Ham at the minute. But I don't listen. At the end of the day, every team gets injuries. It's going to happen. Right? It's going to happen to us. It just depends who gets injured
and when they do get injured. The only decent thing about the whole situation with Ogbonna right now is that we've got a window coming up, and now they can go, they can get working and go right January the 1st, and this not. I think people need to understand that I don't want it to be January the 30th. I want it to be January the 1st.
Absolutely feel the same way.
He comes in.
Don't go through all those January fixtures. I mean, I know we can't get him in for Palace on New Year's Day, but I mean, get him in for Leeds.
Free that boy Jay Lings, January 1st. Free him.
Get him in. Just sign him at 1 minute after midnight on January 1st. You know,
he'll certainly be fresh.
But the thing is, the thing about injuries is, yes, I mean, repetitive stress is part of it, but also, as you said, John, a weird twist to the knee. You know, look at there's all kinds of great athletes who have had weird freak injuries. I mean, for heaven's sake, Bo Jackson, greatest American athlete of the last, 50 years, had to have his hip replaced because he got tackled strangely
against
the
Bengals.
There's a million things that can go wrong. My boss actually he's from Germany, and they do the winter break over there. Yes. That's like 5-6 weeks. We were talking about this earlier in the week.
Long. Yeah.
Yeah. He said more players get injured over the winter break because they have to go and travel and go practice over in Dubai and wherever else. And he wishes that he had the fixture congestion the way that we do. So sometimes it's the grass is always greener. Like there's always something that's going to be a risk.
Also, it's momentum. Momentum is massive.
There is a lot to be said for momentum, James. I do agree.
Right, because let's be honest.
Coming this week.
When we spoke a few weeks ago about Man City, people were saying the same thing. Oh, we can't do it against Man City, etc. Right? We go and win that game. We're going to destroy Villa.
Mark Noble played that game.
Right? And he played pretty well.
What some people were saying was...
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say here is momentum is key. Right? We are on a crest of a wave at the minute, and we need to seize the moment and not worry about. Like we haven't got any. We've got one injury. Other teams have got 2, 3s, and 4s. We've got one. And let's be honest, Ogbonna's good, but he's replaceable. Like, do you know what I mean? He's not like he's a good defender, or he's a very good defender, but he's not. Listen, we can get round it with him.
He's not.
Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah. So we need to look at it.
I mean, you guys remember we talked about this last year, all right? We talked about our thin squad. We talked about the fixture congestion. So here's what we did for those who don't remember, because I really didn't remember. I'll try to make it a little easier to see. This was how we did last season over the festive fixtures. It's kind of mixed, you know. If you look at starting to the end of November.
Yeah, but look at January.
January was amazing.
That was Jesse Lingard's month.
January was Jesse Lingard.
Well, Jesse Lingard come on the 30th of January. That was Ben Rama's month. To be precise.
What worries me a little bit is December was a little bit not great. You know what I mean? Now, some of these games, Chelsea, that's always going to be tough. Manchester United, we know those are difficult fixtures, and we didn't do well against Big Six clubs last season. We know that. But you have a 0-0 with Southampton. That was the Che Adams game
on the 22nd of November.
Do what?
Sebastian Haller Weldy on the 22nd
yes, that's
of November.
Right. But but you look at it got tough. I mean, the away win at Leeds was very solid. But a draw with Palace, a bad loss to Chelsea, draw at home to Brighton. This was the Che Adams game, I think. It was tough. So it's going to be tough again this season.
I'm going to disagree there, though, Lee. Right, and I will, because it was negative noise last season. That Brighton game was an insult. Was a massive insult. I'll never forget that.
Everybody got angry at him, and rightly so.
Yeah. Right, and you can't be setting up with 8 defensive-minded players at home against a relegation threatened team last season. The Man United fixture there, where we lost the game 3-1. If we all go back and remember that game, Pogba's goal went out. It nearly ended up. Ended up at Stratford Station, and for some reason it was kept in. The Chelsea one, the Chelsea game, we just got outplayed. Right, but let's be honest, from the Chelsea game going down to the Liverpool game, West Ham played pretty all right. Even Southampton away, we should have nicked it at the end, but we didn't. But that was Craig Dawson's first game in a West Ham shirt.
I mean, if you look at
that Newcastle game was terrible. I don't know where it is on that list, but I remember that Newcastle game was flagrant.
Newcastle, we played at the beginning, at the end of the season last year. We played them way down
Yeah,
here.
fine Newcastle. That was where Craig Dawson got that red card, and then we almost
Yeah.
came back, and then they nicked it at the end.
That was we lost to them in the first match.
Here, where is it? There it is.
Well, this one was in April of last season. Yeah, that's the one you're.
That
thinking
one was painful.
That one was kind of brutal. I mean, if you look at December, and I know it's a different team, different season, different man. I mean, same manager, but a different approach in a lot of ways. But if you look at December, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in December, only one maximum points, six games, 6 points. It's not like title top 4 race stuff, is all I'm saying. And yet we still almost finished top 4. So.
Yeah, no,
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate a little bit. That's all.
But we're a completely different team now, though, aren't we?
I
Surely.
think we are too. I think we're better. I think our young players are more experienced and they're playing better. They're in better form. I think Benrahma and Bowen are better players. I think Fornals is a much better player. I think Zuma is a massive addition to the defense.
Yeah, but you're forgetting, Lee. We are massive. Oh, you?
I haven't forgotten. That's all I've been thinking about for the last 4 days is how massive we are. All I'm saying is I'm throwing out that, you may see Alex Krall in a Premier League game. You may see Vlasic in a Premier League game. You may see, I don't know. You may see Mark Noble against Burnley. Or is Burnley in that fixture list? So I'm just saying, we're going to have to rotate some. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it is
going to be fun.
The time of year when everybody drops points, chaos happens. The league changes almost overnight in the space of 2 to 3 weeks. It's the most fun period in the Premier League calendar, and just fucking enjoy it. It's going to be amazing. Look at all the games we got. Oh my God, I took some time off so I can watch 20 West Ham games in the space of 3 days.
I'm enjoying every last second of this season because we all know, we don't know how long it's going to last. So if you don't enjoy this, you're never going to enjoy being a West Ham fan ever. This is as good as it gets, honestly, because we're competitive every game. 2 losses all season, and both right at the end.
That shouldn't happen.
Neither one of them should have happened. They both should have been draws. Manchester United definitely should have been a draw. Brentford should have been a draw. It was Ogbonna who made a mistake at the end of that game. That's it. That's all we have. A disappointment against Palace. Maybe we should have done better against Genk, but frankly, I'll take 10 points out of after 4 games in our European group.
Well,
I mean, are you joking? We couldn't beat Astra Gugu 5 years ago to even get into the competition. We could
if you want a fun stat, Lee, if you do want a fun stat, in the same position that West Ham are in now, they are a point better off than Leicester was.
I know you're jinxing it though. They
said it on the American broadcast. There are some similarities to Leicester.
I'm getting real superstitious now. I got to tell you, I know what you're saying, but I
agree. There's a similarity in the style of play and us always counterattacking and teams thinking they can beat us and just like, oh no, we won't maybe sit back and counterattack against them. The only difference is I think the Premier League is stronger. The top teams are stronger in the Premier League this year than they were in that year against Leicester.
Sorry, I've just come back from the toilet, so I missed out on what you were saying, but I did come back in here there about saying, we're better off than Leicester were. I will go back to what my boy D Rose said as a young 23-year-old. Why not me? Why can't I be the MVP of the league? We've got to go in with the same attitude. Why not us? Why not us? Every game you take every game as it comes. As what's his face, David Moyes said, we can't beat Liverpool over a season, but it's a one-off match in the Prem. We can do that.
We only play them twice.
Every game as it Kevin Garnett said, anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
We can beat anyone.
Night, that was a great night here in Boston.
We can beat anyone in the Prem. And I've said it, and I say it, and I'll keep banging the drum. I think the way he's organised, Moyes, and this team is organised, they know how to win games in the Prem. And you know what I mean? And
yes, absolutely.
It's on.
And I'll tell you something else, James. And we talked about this earlier, but I think we agreed on this. One of the things I loved about Sunday, we didn't go 5 at the back. We didn't respect them. We put out the same starting 11 we put out for Villa. We put out the same starting 11 we put out for Tottenham, with the exception of Soufal, of course. for Everton. I mean, everybody we go up against, he's basically saying,
Besides
this is who we are.
winning, my favorite part of the match was seeing the lineup and not seeing 5 in the back.
Absolutely.
That really made me so giddy.
Moyes just saying, you know what, we're good enough to take these guys on the way we want to.
He's not stupid either. He knows what these players are capable of, and he'll be looking for that same level for the rest of the season. You know, he's not an idiot. You don't get to 1,001 games in charge and not, know what you're doing. And these players have clearly shown. And I know he keeps saying in interviews almost to dumb it down and say, look, we're not good enough as these teams, and I'll tell the players that. But inside, he'll only be doing that for motivation. He knows what these players are capable of, and they've again set the bar. Every time you think that, we'll come to another litmus test, can we do City, can we do United in the Cup? But now you've elevated yourself even more by doing that against Liverpool. We need to see that similar sort of consistency against the top teams and not be taking the lesser teams for granted this season, which I think we've done in the past, and we've slipped up.
Criticism, Tom? What was the criticism last season? We couldn't beat the top teams. Remember?
Well, I even go back. I even go back to that Payet season when we played against Swansea and we got battered 3-0 at home and we needed a win to get up potentially into the top 4. And we so many times we overlook teams that we think we should be beating on paper. Like I'm sure we all said the other day, or would have done before the Genk game. We go, oh yeah, we'll beat those 3-0. That'll be no problem. And I think in our head we have to get past.
I thought we would.
The only problem
that may be my exact prediction.
Yeah, but the only problem with that, what people were saying about Moyes, is he is likely to throw in a curveball from time to time and chuck in a 5 at the back like he did against Genk, which made no sense. All right, let's be honest. We go up against Genk and we're setting up 5 at the back with Arthur Masuaku there.
Was it Masuaku? I mean,
it was 5 at the back. Declan Rice and told it in an interview.
Post game, But what I would say is, though, he's no idiot.
Didn't make sense.
Tactically, he is a good manager. For the fact that he did make that change with 4 nows at half time, he does. I do trust his tactics. If he thinks that something it will work if we go 5 at the back against Genk because he's seen something that means that we can exploit that, then I'll stick with him with his good tactics and I'll stick with him with his bad tactics. Everybody will make a mistake, and
because four nows in the hole against Liverpool was an absolute masterclass move.
I don't even know if he saw anything against Genk, Tom. I think it's an opportunity to go and try that system out.
Yeah.
But clearly, tactically, he would have worked on it during the week before the days.
He was getting battered, though, mate. Let's be honest. And a blind man could see that he was getting battered. Do you know what I mean?
It was a shocking first half, James. We could have been down 3 or 4.
We could have 3 or 4 down.
Areola made one mistake on the first goal, but after that, he was fantastic. He kept us in it. But I'm going to tell you something. I had a feeling
like a certain someone on Sunday.
Well, and that's true. You guys
that gets slated every week.
Well, that's just Tim who doesn't like him. That's only Tim who doesn't like Fabianski. You guys say what you want. I know nobody's going to believe me, but I swear to you, I watched that Genk game.
4-1.
I saw the result, and I said to myself, I think this is the best thing that could have happened, because it was pretty clear to me that we were overconfident going into that game, that we were not, as the players, were not concentrating. I know the tactics were not helpful, but Declan Rice in the first half was not good. Diop, Masuaku, not good. Antonio making a lot of runs, but a lot of bad decisions. I think we were overconfident going in there thinking we're going to slap these guys around. It's going to be
complacency.
We got our tail feathers singed.
We took the
made
piss
us come out against Liverpool. Well, no, it made us come out against Liverpool saying, you know what? You take, we may be in form and flying and all that, but you take nothing for granted. That effort against Liverpool was world class.
Yeah, but the thing is, if we would have set up 5 at the back against Liverpool, I think every West Ham fan would have went berserk. There would have been a riot there. You don't. What I couldn't understand, and even I could see it, was you're setting up 5 at the back against Genk. All right, Genk, and we've just smacked this team 3-0 at home with a 4-2-3-1 system.
Yep.
And we're going 5 at the back away from home.
I wouldn't say smacked. I think they were our toughest opponents yet in the group stage.
They were our toughest opponents.
But once we scored,
But to the naked eye, I don't think that people saw it as a 5 at the back. I thought they saw Masuaku more as a winger in that system. And I think
that's
it was
what
only
I thought.
Well, if he was a winger, mate.
He was shocking.
You're right,
It was only since Rice came out afterwards and went, we tried 5 at the back. So, but it was only until he put 4 nows Souček and somebody else, Bowen potentially. I don't know who came off the bench. It was the 3 subs, and he brought them on, and all of a sudden the complexion changed in the game. They went back to the system, and it started working wonders.
Bowen,
And obviously,
Fornals, and who's the other
Souček.
one? Souček, yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
well,
all of a
different
sudden
team.
it went back
And
to
you
a
know-
bit more of a natural thing, and you can't account for Souček's goal. It's not really his fault. He's tried to put head on it to get it out, and we would have probably won that game.
It
So
was genuinely unlucky. We should have won. Yeah, we should have won. But to me, the first half against Genk was a wake up call to me, because I feel as though we got a little overconfident. I know as a fan I was overconfident. I think the players were overconfident. I think even Moyes was a little like, let's go experiment, let's go screw around. You know what? We got absolutely battered in that first half, and I felt as though the effort on Sunday reflected an attitude of like you have to take every single game, every minute of every game seriously. Not that they wouldn't have with Liverpool,
Nick Foley.
but a little. But you know what they say in hockey, NHL season is a long season. It's an 82-game season, and a team gets on a 10-12 game winning streak, and they say a well-timed loss can be one of the best things for a team that's too hot. And it's true not in the playoffs, or in the regular season. A well-timed loss tells them, you know what, you still have things to work on. You're not as good as you think you are. And
That's why I
think
told my
that's what
fantasy
happens.
football team I was undefeated.
for
Got my
us,
first loss.
For us, that was Brentford at home, because I think we looked over them as well.
I think it happened against Brentford at home. I think it happened against Genk as well. I think we got up
I think
on
the system. I think it was more the system though there with Rice and Souček.
It didn't help. But to me, what I saw from their performance was not what I'm accustomed to this season. And I think it wasn't a loss, but it was a well-timed. It was a setback, and it kind of it was a message that, hey, if you want to be top 4 in the Premier League, if you want to go forward in Europa League, you can't be complacent ever, even against a bunch of Belgians.
Yeah, but this is why we need the games, though, Lee. I understand what you're saying about fitness and injury and all that, and I get it. But then winning breeds confidence, and let's be honest, I think that's proved that. Right, like Man City at home, we go and beat them. Fair enough, they dominated us.
Confidence, yeah. But there's always a balance to be between confidence and complacency, and which is I think what Tom was saying. Confidence and momentum, absolutely yes. Which is why I hate the international break coming right now. I would love for us to play Wolves on Saturday, because in one way though, Lee, it's helping us because a lot of our players ain't got international duty. I know.
We're
going to rest. Declan's going to rest. And unfortunately, Antonio is traveling with Jamaica, but I wish
probably the best international break so far that I can remember.
Well, we actually won before it, which we never win before the international break.
Well, no, I'm saying like player rest wise.
Yeah, in terms of players who are involved in recent memory.
That's true. Yeah, you're right about that, because Declan's not going to play.
International breaks.
Yeah,
because it does break it up a bit.
Well, I do think there's a line you have to walk between being confident, which is what you should be, and having momentum, and then thinking you can walk in and walk through a match and still win. Genk was a little bit of a kick in the nuts, a little bit of a wake up call, and I think it improved the performance on Sunday. I really do.
And it will happen again, because again it falls in line with fitness, whether you stand on James and John's side of the fence or you stand on our side of the fence. Similar with my side of the fence, the fitness thing goes hand in hand with that, because eventually there will come a point when the players will get knackered. You cannot keep doing Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday, Saturday, and all of a sudden it doesn't become an issue. So,
but it ain't though, is it though, Tom? Because we're rotating.
But not yet, is what I'm saying.
I think
still can go that way.
I have to say, I'm feeling what Tom's saying here, James.
Yeah, but what I can't understand is
we're about to do a stretch that we have never hit in the history of the club. All right.
Yeah, I know, but these are professional footballers, Lee. These ain't.
I know.
Sunday league over the park having a kick about, and we're asking them to play 12 games. This is what they get paid to do this for a living,
and they get paid a lot of money. I know. I understand that.
And the way I look at
the body is wear and tear on the body is.
Well, let's go through it.
It's cumulative.
Let's go through it.
Can I just make an American joke? Can we just have Kawhi Leonard just for some load management, please? That's what I need right now. Some load management.
I'm a huge load management guy.
Yeah, you need some third liners. Some more of a hockey.
Thing is,
I tell my boss that all the time.
Yeah. Right, let's go through
liners out there just like hitting people, and
Do you know what I mean? If you're going to start saying about players, Fabianski and Areola are sharing the position. So Fabianski ain't going to. This is a freak injury. Ben Johnson's come in and played
happened
games
all the time, by the way. Fabianski goes out in warm-ups, but Areola's a great back.
And then the way I look at that, Ben Johnson's come in and been, let's be honest, one of the best right backs in the league in the last
superb.
4.
Absolutely superb.
Right, absolutely superb. But Kafal was in there.
Academy product, yeah.
Right. If anyone's got any sort of issue, it's Cresswell, because he's the only left back at the club. Right?
Antonio.
Right. Antonio.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, when Antonio went off against Genk, we looked a completely different team. And sometimes he's in games, sometimes he drifts. All right. He's another one. But we've got 3 centre halves at the club with Baptiste in there as a backup. Declan Rice can go at the back if need be. All right. We've got Krau, Souček, Noble, Rice, Lanzini can go in midfield. Then we go up top. We've got Ben Rama, Vlasic, that everyone keeps telling me about, Yarmolenko. Do you know what I mean? We need to start understanding.
Is Yarmolenko healthy? I thought he was still injured.
Well, he's on the plane to go into Ukraine. He's probably going to score 2 goals and then want to be raving about it.
He'll score a hat trick. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
So it is what it is.
I mean, listen. I will. I think to me the common ground here is we are in a better situation than we were at this time last season. We have more players and we have better players than we did last season in some key roles. I do agree with that. Or at least we hope we do with guys like Krall or Vlasic if they need to step in. We don't know, but we hope we do. Certainly keeper, we know we do. And with Ben Johnson, we know we do. On the other hand, we are entering a period it's unprecedented for us. And it does worry me a little bit. But you know what? Ultimately, David Moyes has made very few mistakes as our manager. He has made some. Every manager's going to make mistakes. But he's made very few. And he's brought us to a level that I never thought I'd see us achieve already. And it seems as though we might even be able to get better from there. So,
Lee, here's the other place they can compensate too as well, right, that nobody talks about. Training. I mean, these guys train every single day of the week. They train really, really hard. You add a couple more breaks in there. You ease up on what they're doing in training. You do tactical stuff. You're looking at the tape, whatever else. And, the one-on-one match play and everything else takes a back seat. They'll be well drilled by that point. The systems are going to be about the same going through that period. They should know what they're doing. And, you just lay off them a little bit.
And we have
but
a
bar
staff that's far better than
Souček's great game that he had the other day, because I think that was his best game of the season by far. Before that, we were all saying he looked fatigued because of the amount of games that he'd been playing. So
yeah, but he was playing the system though, Tom. Like when they was pushing Declan Rice forward and as in Souček's DM, we can all agree here that Rice is a DM and Souček is better going forward. And
you still cover like 12K over a game on the pitch, especially if you're playing.
Yeah, I would argue he's a hybrid. He's good defending and he's good going forward.
He's not good defensively though.
Tired.
I don't think
he did look tired to me.
He was brilliant defensively against Liverpool.
Well, you're just saying he weren't.
No. I said that was his best game of the season, all over defensively and going forward. He looked decent. Yeah. He looked very well. The best game he's had because of how tired he has looked and how leggy he's looked this season because of the amount of games he's played.
The thing is, Rice is better as a DM. I don't like Rice going forward, if I'm honest. I think you push him forward, then defensively we're all over the place. That's what I believe personally.
We watched the Sky Sports commentary the other day in the build-up to the game. Jack Wilshere said he was the best finisher at the club, left and right. I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way, at all. I'm just saying, Jack Wilshere came out and said, left or right foot, Declan Rice is the best finisher at the club.
Well, Jack Wilshere you used to hop around the ground and hop into the flipping washing machines, mate. I wouldn't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. Do you know what I mean? Let's be real.
Here's the thing. Declan Rice is the best player at the club, period. I would imagine he's the best at a lot of things, quite frainly. I think he's
not having that day. Sorry, Ben Rama. Rice is the best player.
I love Fornals. I love Ben Rama. I love Bo. I love them all. But you know what? Declan Rice is the best footballer at the club, period, overall.
No, I would agree with James somewhat that Declan Rice's bread and butter is a defensive midfielder. But then I'd agree with Tom too that he has gotten extremely improved going forward, as evidenced by his goal against Aston Villa.
I like him better
in the previous match.
Yeah, I like him better defensively, David. I do. But what I'm saying is he the best finisher at the club? He may be the best at a lot of things at the club because I think he's the best player at the club, period.
I tweeted myself the other day. I keep bringing it back up. 2017, I said he was Bobby Moore reincarnated. I stand by that now.
This is what I'm saying about Declan Rice. Is the guy is quite possibly the best English player, period.
The way that he brings the ball forward out of the back, there is nobody in the country that can do it like he can. I'd argue nobody. He'd be up there in terms of like world football with how he can bring the ball forward. It's ridiculous. Like that's why I said he's Bobby Moore-esque because clips I've watched of Moore, it's exactly what he did. And I said it 3 or 4 years ago when he first came into the starting lineup. There is nobody, I would argue, right now in world football that does what he does week in, week out.
You ready for some heresy, Tom? I think he's better than Bobby Moore. He's not as accomplished as Bobby Moore, but he hasn't had the career yet. But
athletically speaking, you're right. He probably is the better all-round player and everything else, I would say.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody that makes the right decision as often and as frequently and as consistently as Declan Rice. He always seems to have a solution to any kind of trouble that he gets into. He always seems to see the field of play before the ball's even at his feet. That's what you mean by Bobby Moore-esque.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that back in 2017, and the pelters that I used to get on Hammers Chat videos, and they were like, how dare you compare him to this? And from my dad's mates, and they used to say, and they do what FIFA's doing right now with me and Vlasic, when I said it before, and I'll give him Ben Rama.
Don't you dare compare Declan Rice to Vlasic, mate. Go on, Bennett.
But it's...
Fucking hell. You're back on FIFA again, ain't you?
No. Don't start the FIFA stuff, please.
Yeah. No more FIFA.
No more FIFA. No more
Genuinely,
FIFA.
though, the amount of shit I used to get from people that would say, how dare you compare the two? But as John said there, the way, like, nobody does it better than him. And I remember sitting at a West Ham game with my dad, back at the London Stadium. It was in the first season there, and he sat to me, and I'll even prove this to you on text that we had an exchange, and I do it every time that Rice does something good, which is usually every single match. But he said to me, I don't know what he offers. He's like, I'm not convinced on him, not sold on him. And I said to him, just wait, because you'll all laugh at me. I'll do the old what's his face, Nigel Farage at the Brussels thing. You all laughed at me, didn't you? But you're not laughing now because he just is. There is nobody in world football like him at the moment. It's ridiculous.
He's world class.
Kieran,
world class,
I can't have this. No, listen, this is exactly what I'm saying. Wilshere says he's the best finisher at the club. Maybe he is. But again, he's the best at a lot of things because he's the best player at the club.
He's the key, Lee. He's the key to
world football right now, period.
He's the key to glory for West Ham. At present, he's the one man.
I want to say to him, and I think he loves West Ham. I do.
He ain't going nowhere.
I want to say to Declan Rice, I want to say to him, listen.
Right to his face.
Right to his face. I want to say to him, we know you can go anywhere in the world. Okay. We know you can go anywhere in England, go to a lot of other clubs. But, if you go to a Chelsea or Manchester United or whatever, you'll be a legend because you're a fantastic player. If you stay at West Ham and you accomplish at West Ham what it looks like we might be able to accomplish here, I mean, there could be a Declan Rice stadium. Do you know what I mean? Not just a Declan Rice stand. I mean, this guy could achieve.
That's what's worrying me is not the likes of City in that. It's the fact that he's doing it on a European and a world stage now for England. Who else is now looking at him? City's obviously going to be the main one. Because
Real Madrid.
But it's going to be somebody like Real or Bayern or.
But I don't think he goes. I've had this debate on another platform. And he said about Real Madrid are looking at him massively now. They're starting to see like what everyone else is seeing. I don't believe he goes abroad.
I've said it before.
I don't think he'd go abroad either.
I think he stays. I think he loves West Ham. I think what we need to do is get into Champions League, which again is no longer.
I think I think Declan Rice has turned around. And this is why the contract talks are being held up a little bit.
Yeah.
And told them, I want to see players, strikers, people like that in the club.
That's the only way.
And basically, right, you need to do a Payet type situation where we should have built around Payet instead we've just signed a load of shite.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
That is the reason why
Don't ever talk about Jordan Hughes.
This owner is now in the building. Because I believe that they're trying to make sure they're ready.
I think you're right.
I mean,
As long as Deck
I'll go back to the argument I had a few.
As long as Deck doesn't go around shagging nannies and stuff, then I think Deck will be all right.
He's not married, is he? Payet's problem allegedly was that he was married and anyway, Deck can do whatever he wants because he doesn't have the commitments. Anyway, John, what were you saying? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, it's nothing I haven't said a few weeks ago, Lee. I was just saying that where's better than West Ham right now? Which manager is going to improve you more as a player, and which club isn't a rebuilding job, and which club is challenging for silverware? Those are the only things better than West Ham. Is a manager that can make him a better player, a manager that can win him silverware and create a legacy, and that's really it's either Klopp or Pep. Maybe it's Tuchel or Chelsea. Man United is a rebuild job. That's not a better gig than West Ham at the minute. Arsenal, Tottenham, rebuild jobs. Why would you want to be there instead of West Ham? It's one of those three. Chelsea already got history there, may not want to be there. City, maybe Fernandinho moves on.
Trevor Sinclair said it, and sometimes I don't agree with what Trevor Sinclair says, but when people say, and I hate this because I guess it's just football Twitter and a sign of the times, and they go, oh, Man United should go and sign this player, we should just get that player, and they just automatically think, because our name holds up in history as, oh, it's Man United, we're the biggest club in the world.
Right.
We've won X amount of trophies. But in reality, what Sinclair said today on Thingy is right. Other than Man City, would you really want to go to United right now? Would you really? Chelsea have got Jorginho, they've got Kante, they move on. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, these are the arguments people make. Liverpool have got Thiago, Henderson, Fabinho right now. Are they really going to move him on for those guys? The only one in this country that makes sense is Fernandinho to fight with somebody like Rodri for his play. And that, unfortunately, is the only one. But why would he? When he's the captain of the club,
with you,
Europe, he's the captain of the club. He's in Europe. He's starting England place. He's not getting benched for absolutely anybody in this country. Anybody right now. He's scoring goals. He's doing everything.
You build the whole club around him, Tom.
Yeah, you give that man, honestly.
What we're all saying. This is what James saying. This is what you're saying. You build the.
But this is the thing exactly. If you're one of the European giants, or your name holds up and you're a City and whatever, you give your best players 6-year deals on 250 grand a week. If he turned around to me and he said he wanted that amount of money for a 6-year contract,
blank check.
Pay the board man gets paid. You pay him right away.
Declan Rice is Steven Gerrard is with Liverpool, as Steven Gerrard was with Liverpool, a driving force, and that's what Declan Rice is with us. I believe that this man will lead us to some sort of glory, because he's that good. He's got pulling power of attracting players like Jesse Lingard and other players. There might be other players in the England squad who might not be fancying it at their current clubs. People like Ollie Watkins and other players like that who are decent players. And I believe Declan Rice is a sort of player who can attract these players to the club. And if he does, we're only going to get better. And I believe that.
Yeah,
that's the next thing is that people are already talking about. I remember the other day, was it last time that England were playing, or somebody was talking about Sky Sports News? The next thing is England captaincy. Who better right now? I don't like Harry Kane as the captain. He's too quiet like Harry Kane at all. He doesn't say a lot. He's always very by the book. He doesn't.
And I don't know how people understand him. It sounds like he has peanut butter at the roof of his mouth.
The man is a brilliant player, but he's a total moron.
When it comes down to contract talks, and I hope that this new sort of ownership base say, look, this is the guy you need to hold down to the contracts, whatever. But don't forget, he's done all of this, becoming the West Ham captain, potentially being touted as the next England captain, all whilst at West Ham. I know he doesn't owe us an allegiancy, but he, to me, is the kind of player that's got his head screwed on right, that will weigh up his options and say, look, this is probably the best position for me to be in my career. He's not clamouring to leave. He's not asked to leave, and he continually puts in anywhere between 8 to 10 out of 10
very
every week.
He loves the club and he loves the players. Look at him.
He's very switched on. He's very.
Listen to what he says. Watch what he does. He loves West Ham. I don't think it's a put on. He doesn't have to put anything
And
on.
the best,
He doesn't owe us anything. His
best
emotions
thing-
are real.
the best thing
I
right
disagree
now.
though. He does look at us, and he looks at us, and he respects us for what he's done from Chelsea.
Oh no, I agree. No, I agree with that. But I'm saying I don't think he's. What I'm saying about Declan Rice is Declan Rice is 22 years old. All right, he's on top of the world. This is not a guy who's worried about his image. This is not a guy who's celebrating. He celebrates and he talks about how much he loves his teammates because he really loves his teammates. I think he loves West Ham. I think he loves London Stadium. And
I think you're completely right, Lee. That's what I'm saying. The only worries I got is that he wants silverware now. He's got his mate Mason winning Champions Leagues. Possibly winning the league.
That's what sticks with me is Mason Mount winning Champions League. That's a problem.
Or you've got the opportunity to go play for a legendary manager such as Klopp or Pep, who hopefully may not be there much longer anyway, so that's a doubt. But if anybody hasn't tuned into this show before, there's a very specific formula of we do the weekend review, 20 minutes about Declan Rice, why he's God and why he should stay. Then Lee hits up the encore and starts talking about French towns, and then eventually we just end.
That eventually I say, I can't take it anymore.
That is a great point though, John, because the fact that actually the best thing for us, because Lampard was so keen on getting Rice in at Chelsea, the fact that Tuchel became the manager, all of a sudden they weren't as interested anymore because he wanted to play Jorginho and Kante together. Same thing, because Pep said, I don't think I'm going to be here in the next 5 years. Because he likes to achieve all he can achieve with the club and then move on elsewhere. So it's actually and especially the way that we're playing in the current league position, all the things are playing into our hands that actually if the ball turned around and said, right, we need to give him the new contract, everything right now points towards West Ham going only one way, and that is up. And that's why it needs to be signed, sealed and delivered as soon as possible, especially with like Johnson getting a new deal, etc. Those kind of guys, they all need to happen relatively quickly.
But you're right, Tom. For the first time in my time as a West Ham fan, and probably this is maybe the case for all of us, right now there actually is a bright future. There actually is an upward trajectory, and we have we have a drawback of Gold Sullivan and Brady. We have a new investor coming in with a lot of money, with a lot of interest. He's somebody who could possibly take over the club at some point. Whether he's the best person or not, I don't know, but he's there. There's money. There's interest. We're performing well. I mean, we are not any longer a liability desperately clinging on to this guy. We can actually make a case for him to stay, a compelling case.
Can I add to this as well? And I don't think this gets spoken about enough, is that you've got all of that, but one of the main things, and also if we are in an upward trajectory, thank you, Neil, you're about to say what I'm going to say as well. Whilst we're on an upward trajectory, nobody talks about the fact that we're a London club more than anything. That is as big a pulling power as you can have. Big players don't want to go to Burnley. They don't want to go to
every day on the bench.
London. That is a major pulling power. Zuma was a major pulling power for us because the fact that he could stay in London.
Yes.
London as the city, the fact that we have a chance to break in and amongst those big boys with the way that we're playing, the investment and everything else, London should not be looked at. That has to be a major part of the thing, is that you stay in the capital city of England.
The problem is with that. The only problem with that, I understand what you're saying, and I agree. But we are in competition with other London clubs who have a bit more pulling power than us.
It's very true, but
I mean,
in terms of trajectory and the stadium, if you really want to get into that and what people say about that, but like we said, I can't remember, I don't know if it was David or whatever, nobody wants to go to Arsenal at the minute. Well, I know they're having a bit of a resurgence, but nobody wants to go there. Nobody probably wants to go to Spurs at the moment because the club captain wants to leave, or sorry, not club captain, but like best player wants to leave. Yeah. Chelsea, fair enough, but there's a competition for places potentially over there.
And they kicked him out, Tom. They kicked Declan Rice out. They told him he wasn't good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's the one thing.
Arsenal
to me are a soap opera at all times. Tottenham don't keep a manager for more than 18 months. David Moyes, as long as we pay him, he will stay at West Ham. I don't really see why he wouldn't.
Declan won't go back to Chelsea, mate. I'll be gobsmacked.
I agree with you, James. That's what I'm saying.
I think there's more chance Mason Mount comes to West Ham than Declan Rice.
I do too.
I agree on that. Yeah,
because they told him he wasn't good enough. And if somebody tells me you're not good enough, I'm never going back, ever.
I think what people got to understand also is Declan's the main man at West Ham. If he goes to Chelsea or Manchester City, he's not the main man anymore.
Yep.
Like people can say, "Oh well, he'd be one of the main men." He'll be one of them, but he won't be the main man at West Ham. He's the captain.
He's the man.
He's the man. Every fucking fan loves him.
Not that I think he cares about that, but it's just a nice self-confidence boost.
Yeah.
To know that
he could be the man for 15 more years. I mean, he's 22 years old. The guy could be Bobby Moore. He could do it with England and with West Ham both. I mean, he could transcend, again, if he stays healthy, if he keeps his head on straight, this guy could be a legend the likes of which we haven't seen for generations. I really believe that. I think he's showing that right now.
If the next 4 games, and I look at this, right, to sort of go after Declan Rice situation a little bit.
What the fuck is that comment?
Right? If we go off of like the next 4 games,
I got my doubts about the
Jesus.
What is this?
Okay. All right.
Ask James. He's your resident Londoner.
Okay.
His face says it all.
Where this comes from, I have no idea.
Yeah. My crib. Anyway, moving on. I mean, bring your family. I don't care. I don't know
where that came from, but okay. Good.
What I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by the adult film star. Basically,
good-looking honky.
Yeah.
He's good looking. Don't forget that.
Well, I can relate to that. That's understandable.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, come on, Anyway, go on.
Basically, the next 4 games decide if we're challenging, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, challenging for the Premier League. And if we can get through the next 4 games, and we've got obviously Wolves, Man City, Brighton, and Chelsea, we're in the conversation, gentlemen, and we've got to think like that.
You're absolutely right, and it's crazy to say, and I don't want to jinx this, but what we did against Liverpool. We went up against the top 6 team. We went up against a team that had not lost in any competition all season long. 25 games they hadn't lost, right? They came in, I mean, they knew who we were. They took us seriously. And quite frankly, I mean, we were,
the fact we put the woman's shoe over it. It's the fact that a stiletto goes in there as well.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay.
Listen, Peter, just you don't need a fluffer. Just watch the replay of the West Ham Liverpool match, and that'll get you started. So,
hanging 10. What exactly? Anyway, everybody's saying this is Rebecca. I don't know. I'm not gonna impugn her. That's a lie. Oh wait, here she is. Well, maybe she is. I don't know. Maybe she's doing double duty. I don't know how that works. Anyway. Are we public now? Are we talking about? Huh?
I mean,
no.
I mean, we don't have to discuss it right now.
I don't want to discuss it right now. Okay.
Yes.
No.
Jesus, it'd be a bit weird if you go look at her Hammers chat video and all of that's in the background. Yeah, yes.
Tom, would you like to discuss your views on Mark Noble now?
Oh yeah, but she wasn't watching before because she was on FaceTime to my brother. But yeah, he's dog shit, and I hope she knows that. Anyway, I see. And now my brother's come and joined the chat because they've got off a FaceTime about.
How does your roommate feel about Rebecca spending all this time with you?
Listen, she's tried to change me. There's a Mark Noble picture up in the front room that I've had to live with. I've got a signed picture of him and his testimonial ticket that she didn't even go to.
Yeah, and I'm gonna send you a postcard for Christmas
too. Is a great thing to have. I would have that in my house in a heartbeat, Tom. Come on.
You have a lot of bitterness to bring for Mark Noble, Tom. Talk about it.
You know what I have in my house?
Living with her.
You know what I have in my house?
Look at Tom, why is your brother's handle AFAS16? Are you twice the man he is?
Obviously, no, because he kept nicking. Like, whenever I tried to sign up for stuff, he kept nicking my beautiful Carlos Tevez number. So I told him he had to change it. So there you go.
What's his views on Vlasic?
Oh, God. wait, Tom. Does he play FIFA? And
I love how you said, I don't want to talk about FIFA, and then you bring FIFA up.
I'm going to tell you something. You know what we have in my house? We have books. Look at all these books. Where they're over here. Look at all these. Every room in our house.
Books.
Every room in our house. No, every room in our house has. There's another bookshelf, by the way, behind me that you can't. Well, that's when
smells like sweet mahogany.
There's a There's a bookshelf here. There's another one right here, the same size. Okay, that you can't see.
They got pictures on them.
No,
These
they
are
got,
only books I read.
They're all full of words. They got every room in our house, except
Words
the bathrooms, every room in our house has a minimum of 2 bookshelves. All right, a minimum. And they're all full like this. We may have 5,000 books. I don't know. How many are mine? Like 5 are mine. I have like I have the Chuck Core West Ham United history book. I have like 2 other West Ham books. I have the Cast Pennant. That's another West Ham book I get. I have a couple of Dan Jenkins books, and that's pretty much it.
This has followed me. This. I can't get rid of this. That is the issue.
At least,
He was
Tom,
there.
at least he's West Ham. I mean, come on. You could. What? It's. You
But do you have do you have the Cannon Town Perlo book? Like, you know what I mean? Mark Noble, Greatest Hits. Have you got that one?
Tom, what are you going to do when he gets subbed on in the 94th minute of the last game of the season to raise the Premier League trophy?
This I cannot escape. It is a curse. It is here constantly.
It looks beautiful.
Me.
I would send it to me then. Send it to. I'll wear it. What size is it? I'll wear it. Well, it's probably too small for me.
Well, I want to listen. This is quite a worrying subject for Tom, so I want to ask him why. What's going on, Tom? Do you want to talk to someone? Talk to Frank or something?
I don't want to talk to you. I can tell you that. You probably want to talk to somebody else.
I've talked to specialists my entire life, and they're arseholes. I can't deal with them. I'm done talking. I just accept things now.
Well, Tom, listen. You are in the company of a West Ham supporter, and that is a good situation to be in. All right. Imagine if you had to live with somebody who supported Liverpool or Manchester City or Tottenham, or you know what I mean? Just imagine.
See, this is the thing though, Lee, right? Tom's feelings towards Mark Noble is the same feelings that I have towards Flassage.
I know.
So I'm just going to get into that one.
No.
You say the word no with like 4 syllables in it, like no. Well, it's funny.
No. People used to take the piss out of me when I moved up north when I was a kid. They used to say no. I would say it.
Australians put a lot of syllables in the word no. They really drag it out. Nah. Or like the South Africans, God only knows what they're talking about. I have no idea. Or the some of the Scots, like the Edinburgh ones are fine, but the Glasgow Scots, I mean, I'm sure they're lovely people, but who knows?
I mean, listen, if she really wants to start with me here, her dad's a Spurs fan and her brother's an Arsenal fan. So
I know. No, Tom, I sympathize. I do.
Spurs fan.
My wife does not like sports at all. She doesn't like anything. She doesn't like them at all. And actually, that's kind of not the worst thing.
Well, when you really think about sports, really are stupid. Like what we do is
stupid.
really
They're
dumb.
ridiculous. Why do I have so much emotion?
Why do I care so much? It's
right.
dumb.
Well, that's because you're a gambler, though, Lucas. You at least make money off of it, or have money on it. I'm just a fan. I don't even gamble. I'm just a fan.
North wants to know.
I just have an emotional investment, and it's ridiculous. I mean,
it's
why?
Dumb. It's dumb.
I'm 47 years old. There's all these guys are a minimum 15 years younger than I am.
I actually hate that I love sports.
I do too, and I kind of, it's a weird way. My boys are not really sports fans. Like football's the only sport they'll watch. Not American football, but proper football. They'll watch West Ham with me. Football's the only sport they'll watch. Other than that, they don't care at all. And I kind of like that because sports is kind of a stupid hobby.
I'll give her credit for one thing, and that is that I have said since being here. Yes,
it's gonna be a long night, Tom. I'm sorry.
It is decent being able to sit down with somebody that also enjoys watching West Ham and be able to live through happiness and sadness with it at the same time. It makes it a little bit easier, I'll say that. But
Somebody
at the moment,
see, my wife is sweet and understanding, but she just doesn't understand why I get upset about sports. It just has no impact on her at all. She worries about other stuff like people in our family and our health and our kids. And I'm like,
why are people in the family in quotation marks?
I'm like, our nephew has COVID. I'm like, he'll be fine. Okay. But Ogbonna, no, that's a problem. Okay, Ogbonna,
throw that in the bin.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, she's like, but I have to worry about everything else. I'm like, I know.
You gotta wish your cousin a happy birthday. I'll wish him tomorrow.
I have to worry about West Ham. Okay, that means she can worry about all the other stuff because it's a lot.
It's called passion, gentlemen.
Right, it's a burden.
You're passionate.
It's a burden on me, right? So I let her worry about stuff like bills and do the kids like have lunch?
Feeding the kids.
I don't care.
What about him feeding the kids? Isn't it?
John just gives his kids
She
drugs.
has the emotional space to take
So
them on
generous
by
of you, Lee, to let her worry about those
That's
things.
that's what I'm saying. She has the emotional capacity for that, and I don't. And
That's why
I know
Lee
that.
drugs them, so they don't think about
That's
his father
exactly.
being horrific.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Come
That's
here,
exactly
kids.
right.
It's time for
got-
bed.
They got a whole set of. Well, now I tell you this, my 11-year-old really does take like 2 sets of pills every day, but that's because he really does. That's because he has asthma and a lot of other
Just
stuff.
to forget who
It's
his
not
father
just
is.
me drugging him.
Just
It's
to forget
also-
who his dad is.
A monster.
My kids
Exactly.
are not watching sports.
My kids don't really. I mean, if I have friends over to watch West Ham, they'll watch with all of us in the living room. Usually not the whole game, but part of it. But honestly, they don't really like watching that
I
much.
don't think my
They
kids
really
will
don't.
have a choice anymore, to be honest.
Yeah. My nephew ain't got a
weird.
choice. He's
I
West
tried
Ham.
to-
You,
I
you,
tried
gotta-
to get him to
you don't have a choice option, in my opinion.
What
I
he
tried to
does
get him
have
to
a
watch it,
choice
they
in-
wouldn't.
I mean, they won't have a choice. I'm just.
What he does have a choice in is whether or not it makes
Let me
Mark
tell, I'm gonna
noble.
tell you something right now. This is great. All kidding aside, I get up in the mornings and I make the boys' lunches in the mornings now. I do that. I do.
Filled and laced with drugs.
Well, I'm not gonna make any promises.
Full of
to the
caffeine.
content. I was gonna
It's
say,
it's like in a hangover when they put drugs in the middle of the slice of meat to get it to go to sleep. That's leaving sandwiches
I mean,
laced with Benadryl.
I'm not gonna promise you what's in the condiments. Okay, all I'm saying is I get up and make the lunches. So so give me a little bit of credit, will you? I get up and make the lunches, and I take care of the pool when it's open. So yeah, it's an emotional
The
load.
important things.
Sports is
He
an
takes to
emotion.
the pool and
I
watches
don't. I don't
West
think
Ham
you
win.
understand. Here in America, there's 2 things, or 3 things. Two things. The man is supposed to do: cut the lawn and maintain the pool.
I've
That's
just
it.
got
I
images.
do
Of,
hire
I've just got
somebody to cut the
images
lawn,
of
but I do
Isaac.
maintain the pool.
I've
So
got
I
images
do,
of
and
Isaac or your other son's name. I can't remember.
Andrew,
Somebody goes,
Isaac and Andrew,
Daddy, I've lost my first tooth, and you just go fuck off and just throwing the tooth in the pool.
Well, I didn't actually.
I can just imagine Lee saying that to his kid though about the tooth. Like someone knocked a tooth out for a Bonner or something. Look, a Bonner's knocked a tooth out. It's your turn. You know what I mean? It's just
Everything that happens to Angelo Ogbonna is
Everything-
going to happen to you.
Middle
Yeah,
of a West Ham match.
No,
Daddy, look what I drew at school today. Guess what? West Ham are playing. Guess away
Well,
from
Can I-
me.
can
West
I
Ham
just
are
say-
drawing. West Ham are drawing at the minute. You're no different. You know?
Can I just tell you that Andrew picked out? They pick out their own clothes now. Okay, which is an adventure unto itself.
Ain't West Ham
Andrew-
kid, is it? Ain't a West Ham
Yes,
kid.
Andrew wore his West Ham Minecraft guy today.
You are
so-
forcing them to wear the kit. Ain't
No,
you, Lee?
he did it himself.
Tell the truth.
So- no, he did it. So I have forced him in the past, but not.
Do you need to
They
speak
live
to
in-
someone,
they live
Lee?
in- They live in fear
I
of not
desperately
wearing a
need
West
someone.
Ham kit. That
I this morning he came down and he had so Alex, who's our guy in Mississippi, who's from the Mississippi West Ham fan group down there. He's been on the show before. Alex is a good dude. Alex designed all of our supporters club, most of our supporters club shirts, right? And one of the clubs, one of the things he designed was this little Minecraft character with a West Ham kit on, and it's fantastic. And I bought them both for my boys, and they still wear them. Andrew wore his today. Andrew wore his West Ham. And I'll tell you something else. Isaac has had to make these little collage things for school about like things that are important in his life, and he
Lee's standing in the
always
background. They
he
better be West
always
Ham.
puts he always puts West Ham on there. He does. He always puts West Ham on there. He
Yeah,
puts,
because
like,
you're stood behind him like this.
I'm not going to comment on
Just
that.
sending him pictures of
I'm
Angelo
not
Ogbonna.
going to comment on that. I'm just saying, yeah. This is pretty much, this is not unlike,
Now
Oh.
I'd like to put my favourite movie poster on the wall. No, it must be a picture of Declan Rice.
I have my sons and I have wetsuits so that we can start swimming in April in our pool. And I was swimming in the middle of October, and yes, it's true. I swim because I love my love to swim. I love swimming, and yes, it is cold, but I don't care. It builds character. Yeah, I mean, So all I'm saying is my boys actually do. They are. I have a good friend whose son cheers for every team he hates because he wants to antagonize his dad. All right. His dad's a Michigan grad. The kid's a Michigan State fan. His dad is.
We don't have time for people like that.
Right, exactly. I'm not having that in my house. All right, my boys do love West Ham. They love West Ham, and that's. I mean, at least they don't hate West Ham. So that's good for me. If you ask them, they'll tell you.
Everyone needs to think the same as me. If not, get out of my life.
All I want is peace and harmony, and I don't. Yeah, and so a
couple of Benadryl.
Don't come to London, Lee, if you want peace and harmony, mate. Stay in America.
I'm very peaceful and harmonious here, as I'm sure you know. Everything's going real smooth over here. Yeah, nothing to worry about. We got no problems, no issues, right, David? It's just
it's
like
totally
that old
classic.
ZZ Top video. It's just yeah.
I'll just hit I-95 to Baltimore real quick.
I do not know what he's talking about. I-95. I have been to Baltimore. Baltimore's
Did you not see him at the start of the show? He was massive, apparently.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. I thought about that. All right. Well, we've devolved pretty quickly here.
Now, hang on, John. Is your child going to be a West Ham fan? Would you give it a choice?
First of all, she's not an it. But
I did.
What are her pronouns?
Your daughter.
What are her pronouns?
That's why I went with it.
She already watches West Ham. It's kind of funny. I don't know. I sing bubbles to her and all that kind of stuff, and she actually pays attention for at least 5 minutes when West Ham's on, which is probably pretty good for an almost 2-year-old. So she will have no choice. She will either hate football or be a West Ham supporter.
What people don't know is Rebecca falls asleep during most West Ham games, but she doesn't tell her YouTube audience that.
Well, she has now. Tom, you're making choices that I think you're going to want to rethink. Now I have
next week he's got a big black eye.
I have had to edit.
No, he's going to have 2. One for that and one for Mark Noble.
I think I should cut this video off right before you said that, because these things live forever out in perpetuity.
I've just heard she just watched it in the other room because I just heard her go, ooh.
Yeah, she's not going to be making that noise a whole lot more.
Oh shit, she's coming. She's coming. Oh dear. Oh, what?
And all of a sudden, Peter North is back in the chat.
I was going to say
he's coming at all.
Really?
I don't know what you got.
Really?
It's all right. You also won't want to know that she's currently in an Inter-Milan shirt as well.
I can't believe it ain't Tom's having a domestic at the minute.
Is she wearing a robe, Tom? Is she wearing a robe?
No, she's in an
Your Inter-Milan shirt.
Oh, there we go. No, I'm in trouble, basically, is what we're saying.
Well, I hope you'll be.
Lee, this wasn't my fault tonight. I'm just going to say that. I'm not involved. I don't want anyone saying anything.
She would like to remind you that I am wearing her West Ham shirt as well. So
You are?
Yeah.
Those are lady clothes you're wearing? That's lady clothes?
No. Do you always buy male shirts, whether you're a woman or not? The male shirts are better.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah.
The women's ones, they fit different. They're just not. I
would hope they fit.
Yeah.
You know what's going to be funny though? After this stream, when Tom gets off, you have to go and grovel back to her and like, "Oh, come here. It's all right." You know what I mean? I was only having a laugh with you. Do you know what I mean?
This is why
that Mark Noble picture in the back looked a little crooked. Could you fix that for me?
108A7 Bonham Court, Leeds, LS27 9EJ. If you don't hear 9EB, if you don't hear from me by next week, okay, that is my address. I'd just like to publicly put it on record.
That made zero sense to me whatsoever. Whatever you said was just like a code or something. Your addresses in the UK have all these letters and numbers that are totally unnecessary to me. And plus, I've always wondered, how do these stadiums get names? Like, why is Stamford Bridge? Why was it called Stamford Bridge? Like, it's not a bridge; it's a stadium. Why is it called Bridge?
Right, I tell you honestly, nobody does just swerves like Lee. There is no.
Okay. How about
these are the hard-hitting questions that need to be answered.
Who played at Vicarage Road? Who was that?
Watford.
Watford. Okay. How about Derry? We used to play at the baseball ground. Was it really a baseball ground?
Derby. Derry.
Derby.
Derry.
Derry. You know what it is? Lucas and I were sharing punk rock songs earlier today, and I was listening to Teenage Kicks, the old Undertone song, and they're from Derry, and that's why I thought about Derry.
Yeah, from Derry.
Derby played at baseball. Was it really a baseball ground?
Baseball ground, yeah.
Did they play baseball there?
Yeah, it did.
In
Yeah.
Derry, they like to blow people up. It's a bit different in Derry.
Fuck's sake, Tom.
Oh God.
All
Did I ever tell you about my
There's
friend
a
who was
different
on the
kind of
boat?
action in Derry.
No, did I tell you about my friend who was on the boat with Jerry Adams? Did I tell you about this?
Jerry and Derry.
No.
Jerry
Okay,
It was Jerry in Derry, and he met Kerry.
So I got this friend. It's a guy. It's a guy named Jan. All right, he's a guy named Jan. I know it's a girl's name, but he's a guy named Jan. Not Jan. His name is Jan. He's English. He's from Cornwall. Okay, he's from Truro. Really good dude. Really good dude. So he comes over for my wedding, like 14 years ago. He comes over for my wedding, and he goes on a whale watch. All right, which is you go out for like 4 hours. You go out into the ocean, off the coast. You know what
I
I'm
can
talking
go to the
about,
beach
David.
for that.
You go off of yeah, well, yeah, Maryland definitely, yeah, but in the south you get a lot more whales. Anyway, you go off the coast of Boston, way out to the ocean, and you look at whales. They go up. You know, I've done it before. So Jan goes on a whale watch, all right?
I just got that.
And he's on the boat, and he's like, I swear, he's like, Jerry Adams was on the boat. And I'm like, but you know what? He was. Jerry Adams was in town, as he often is, or was in that time in Boston recruiting. You know, he does a lot of whatever political stuff he does.
Recruiting.
It's popular in Boston. All right, Boston's a heavy Irish population. He's popular in Boston. He comes to Boston. He makes friends. He shakes hands. He was on the whale watch with my friend Jan. And
he makes bombs, he has friends.
I said,
How has it come to
how
this?
nice is this? How nice is this? I said, Jan, did you introduce yourself to him? He's like, well, I thought about it. It's like, but I don't think he wants to talk to an English guy. But Jan he thought of himself as Cornish, right? He didn't think of himself, he thought of himself as Cornish. So he's like, I was thinking I'd go tell him I'm Cornish, but he's like, I don't think that's enough. So, but it would have to be Jan who was on. If you knew this guy, you would know why it would have to be him on the whale watch with Jerry Adams in Boston. So that happened. That really did happen. And
From Declan Rice to Jerry Adams, only on American Amazon.
I
mean, they are both Irish, so.
Yeah, Declan Rice originally played for Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, they're both explosive as well.
But they were. Wait, what did you say?
They both have good shooting skills.
Oh, fuck off.
You're gonna get me in trouble.
Can we go back to Father Ted jokes, Tom? Come on.
I got a lot of. There's a lot of Irish around, not in so much like where I live.
miss
but
Snodgrass.
You know, like around here.
Yeah, I mean, he's Scottish, but close.
Well, I'll say it. My son goes to a school called McCarthy. Isaac goes to a school called McCarthy. And there's a teacher at the school. His name is McCarthy. And he's like, but they're not related. He's like, what are the odds? There's a McCarthy school and a teacher named McCarthy. And I'm like, in Boston? Very good odds, quite frankly, that you'd have a McCarthy teaching at McCarthy school.
That's your Johnson.
Right. That was like not unusual at all. You know, I'm like, you should maybe know this.
That's right. I played when I was back in this summer, when I played for my local cricket team, we played against a team called Ben Johnson. Literally, the team name was Ben Johnson, and I was the only one that found it funny.
Really? Well, you know,
because nobody else supports West Ham. They're all Leeds and Hull and York City fans. And it's a team called Ben Johnson Cricket Club. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, you guys know my favorite club in Argentina, right? Is Douglas Haig. You know, there's a club in Argentina called Douglas Haig. It's named after a Scottish general in World War I who apparently was a really awful dude. But Douglas Haig, I remember I had a friend from my friend.
You're not a Newell's Old Boys fan, Lee?
I like Newell's Old Boys, and I like
Not
some
a
names
fan?
like, they have names like
You're not a fan of
Defense and
Knoll?
Justice, like Defensia and Justicia or whatever. I like the
Young Boys.
But Douglas Haig, look at this. They're way down in the lower divisions, and they got relegated not long ago.
But look up this name, league name team. They're in the second division, Deportivo Moron. Like you're a
I
moron.
love Deportivo Moron. Yes. Douglas Haig. I follow these guys every week. I look at their results, and I'm not kidding because I just like the name. I think it's funny that they're named after some random. They're in Argentina, for God's sake. Douglas Haig. That's my club. That's my. I got him in my app.
That's my goddamn club.
I'm just saying. In my app where I follow my favorite clubs, I got Douglas in there.
It's not your club till you get a kid.
Yeah, there you go. Deportivo Moron.
Well, I
better club than
tried to
Spurs.
get a kit for free, but it didn't work.
It's a better club than Spurs on that badge. I'll give them that. There's a real.
Deportivo Moron. Yeah, there's a lot of good names out there.
Can you just please just type in Newell's Old Boys? I just want to see their badge. Just
Of course, because it says not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what Tom's going for here.
It says knob. Yeah, I know. It's funny. It's funny. There it is. There it is. It's solid. I like now these guys when I was.
There is only one. Boca Juniors. There is only one. There's only one.
I remember these guys because when I was a kid and I'd watch the games on the Spanish channel, they would show games from Argentina and they show Newell's Old Boys a lot. And I remember thinking that's a weird. I never understood the idea that you'd have a name that wasn't city nickname. You know, it's like Dallas Cowboys or New England Patriots, right? It's like you have the region and then the nickname. You know what I mean? But in the rest of the world, you don't do that. I was like, how could you have a club called Newell's Old Boys? Like, what? Where are they from? Newell's? Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know?
Say over here we call our old boy
your dog,
the crown jewels, the meat and two veg,
the baby arm, the baby arm.
The thing that Tom won't be using for a little while. That's what he's trying to say. Do you know what I mean? Let's be honest here. That's the thing that he won't be using for a little while.
No, Greg Zerline, third leg Greg. That's what we call him.
Third leg Greg. Oh my days! If I said that to my missus, mate, she'd punch me in the face.
Wait, did you guys? Yeah. Oops. What did I do? Okay. Never mind. I didn't.
I love the end of the shows because they just become 6 old blokes that don't even talk about West Ham anymore. Just chat about.
We talked about West Ham for a long time tonight. Okay, we did a really good job tonight before it all sort of disintegrated. Where is it? I don't know if I'm not gonna be able to find it probably, but there's Kurt. Did you see the Kurt Zuma picture where he's? I don't know.
He's excited.
Like the Teddy Bridgewater picture.
Yes, he's showing a certain level of interest, and
is he keen?
And Lanzini is looking at him like Lanzini's looking across like.
You got Lee. When will you learn? We are massive. In all
facets of life, we are massive.
Everywhere
and we've got some serious girth everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
There's some girth. There's some girth. I tell you what, it's this. You know what? I can't find the whole picture. But
hang on, I think Rebecca even retweeted it the other day because she was laughing when she saw it.
Yeah,
I don't think you need the whole thing, Lee. To be honest,
I can't. But here's the thing: it's basically this. Okay, it's basically this picture.
No half-assing over here.
All right, but he's cut off. You know, but the look on Lanzini's face is he's basically looking down like.
My God, he's massive.
Like, are we going into the showers now? What happens now? That's intimidating.
My God,
Lanzini looks like he's fearing for his life, doesn't it?
Yes,
like, I'm not going to.
My God, who's that girthy bloke?
There's an even better shot which I'll never find because it's just.
Oh, there it is, Lee. Go on. Just type Zoomer in the search bar, and then go down to see West Ham news and views.
Well, okay. You mean I was looking at images? Okay, so you're saying.
Search Zoomer, and then just scroll down on the top results, and then you'll see one of the full image.
You've got to give the people the content they want, Lee.
Are you in the image search, Tom?
This is Girthy Thursday.
Just let me share my screen. Just let me share my screen,
share your
Lee.
screen. Yeah, no, you do it. You can do it. I don't have to.
Fuck's sake! I didn't think I needed another beer. Here we go.
You have to accept it, Lee. Lee, you have to accept
me
sharing the screen.
Oh, I do?
I got it.
Wait. Oh, sorry. I messed that up. Okay. Here we go. All right. There it is. It's Lanzini. It's Lanzini. Look on his face. It's like,
Kafal's looking at it. Kafal's looking and thinking, I'm not getting in the shower first.
You know, I hit a game-winning basket one time. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty excited.
I just can't compete with that.
I hit a grand slam home run when I played.
You're out of my league, guy.
They're actually applauding him for the.
Yeah,
it's like not for the goal.
Yeah, it's not for the goal. It's for the size of the quarry.
He's intimidated. No, he's intimidated. There's no doubt that he's like. We are massive.
Like
we are massive everywhere we go. Look, here's this Kufal. He's even like, what?
He's like, directly at it. He's caught its eye.
That would actually knock someone clean out around. You know what I mean?
Kufal's like, I can't look. I'm not going to look. I don't want to look. I can't.
This picture has now been up an awkwardly long amount of time.
And Lanzini's like, I can't help but look. I have to look. That's what I'm saying. He's got a certain.
Listen, maybe he can lift the Premier League trophy with it.
I don't. I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying that he radiates confidence wherever he goes. Let's put it that way.
That is elevation.
Yeah, yeah. He's pointing the way.
He's leading us in the right direction.
To be fair, I reckon even
It's only up from here.
I reckon even popping a few pills when Lee was talking about being massive, he looks that's how Lee goes to bed thinking he looks when he pops pills.
I'm glad we've reached dick joke hour. Please continue.
It took a while, but it's no joke though. That's real.
Oh, you're
life.
right. That is no joke.
I was gonna say that is no joke. He's
it's now Girthy Thursday. What are you on about?
Did you see his performance? Did you see his performance
That's
in the
lethal
box?
weapon.
Did you see his performance in the box on Sunday? He was very dangerous in the box, I thought, on Sunday.
I bet. He probably scared everyone away.
He's a dangerous in any box he goes in.
That's what I'm saying. He's dangerous in the box. He was
any
very,
box he touches, mate, he destroys it. Literally.
Absolutely. You don't really want him getting. Yeah, you don't want him getting.
Listen, when he gets his head in the
into
box,
if you get
that head in the box.
Yeah, if you get him,
Peter North is no match for Kurt.
If he gets too deep into the box, then you see what happens. You know.
Mate, some people break hearts. He breaks beds. Zuma.
That's all he breaks. I don't think that's all he breaks, but
honestly, if he gets deep in the box, it'd fucking hurt.
And I'll tell you, Jared Bowen is going to have to keep an eye out on that Danny Dyer lady there because
he's taking tips from Zuma.
Well, it'd be hard not to. I mean,
I hope not.
He's really got a lot of tips to give, so you know, I don't know.
Well, is this the kind of tutelage you were talking about for Issa Diop earlier, James?
Yeah, exactly that, mate. Elevate him up.
I will tell you this now. I wish I could find a picture, but myself, Rebecca, and Charlie, a while ago, I was designing something for West Ham Fan TV. I was designing a background for the shows they use, and I was looking for a picture of Yarmolenko for something specific, and a picture of him came up with a bulge. My God. He's on that level, and
I
he's
saw
alarming.
that. No. That was on Twitter somewhere.
He's alarming.
That was on Twitter somewhere, Tom.
Did you search it, mate?
Yes. No, I'm not going to search any more dick pics.
Because he's Slavic. That's what we do.
I'm not going to search any more dick pics. I'm just going to put up this again. This is important.
Welcome to American Hammers.
This is important.
X-rated show.
This picture of Danny Dyer because it's important West Ham related content.
She doesn't even look like that in real life. I've seen her before.
You've seen her in real life?
No, I've seen her in Essex. She doesn't look like that. The amount of airbrushing on Photoshop that's gone on there.
Well, you think these photos are retouched? Come on, get out of here. That
was a Love Island picture. That is airbrushed to fuck.
Can you get a picture of her?
I said Long Island. Oh, she's from.
Can you get a picture of her looking roughly? Because that's when Zuma's just gone for her. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, But you're Tom. Where was that Yarmolenko? I saw the Yarmolenko picture too. I'm not looking for these things; they just happen to come up on Twitter.
Sorry, can you share my screen, John?
They just happen to come up.
I got very confused. You've only just alerted to me. I thought he was going for him.
Okay. Oh wait, what now?
She looks fucking rough there.
Yeah, that's a very rough picture.
Where does she look?
I thought he's been railing in the last few weeks.
No, she's.
Danny Dyer, if you go back to that picture, Danny Dyer on the right hand side looks shocked when he sees Suma's bulge, mate. You know, it's like that's what he's gonna do. You know? That boy does damage.
Okay, listen. I mean, why wouldn't he wear a cup? Do you wear a cup when you I mean, because we never did in rugby. You know, we never wore a cup in rugby.
Oh, what a box?
Yeah. You know,
you call it a box.
It's called an athletic support or whatever you call it. You know,
your jock strap is a box. We only wear those in cricket.
Is that right? Okay,
why do you think he scores so many goals from corners, Lee? As he jumps up, he knocks them out with his flipping.
He's good with his head.
No, I'm just saying when I
he pokes him in the eye.
When I started playing rugby, I played a little bit of football, American football, and you definitely wear a cup, in American football, all right? You definitely do, all right?
Yeah, box.
So when I started playing rugby, they were like, I brought mine with me, and they were like, what is that? And I'm like, it's it's a cup. It's whatever we
Protecting
call
my
it.
future.
It's
Out
right.
of
It's
the
like I didn't have
building.
kids yet. I was like,
I need to
it's, you know,
protect my future.
Yeah.
You
and
would
so
be
they were like,
laughed out of the building.
well, I was left out of the building, so I didn't wear. I never wore it playing rugby. I never wore it, and I still managed to father 2 kids who I believe.
Well, I mean, to be fair, rugby wear a different sort of protection for another head, so it's
I love playing rugby. It was so much fun.
David just looks shell shocked. David is deep in thought as to what his life choice is.
David's absolutely not listening to us at all, and he's smart to do that. It's because it's
all you got to do is think of a police truncheon and then think of Kurt Zuma.
To be fair, that's how Zuma gets so much space in the box. When they think they're getting a touch and it's Zuma at their back, it's not. It's Zuma's far behind where it is.
I'll tell you,
He's far behind, but his presence is known.
Yeah,
it is felt and it is large.
Yeah.
That's why he's arrived at the club and he's made an immediate impact.
3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I think I'll watch Babe Station. I think.
How
to be fair, can that good-looking honky come back in the chat? Because I blame him.
Do you think is he useful from the spot though? That's the real question. What can he do from the spot? Because that's kind of
Craig Dawson scores from the spot. I'll tell
Craig
you.
Dawson is extremely useful from the spot. We know that.
And he's
Craig
a
Dawson,
Christian man.
Is he?
I saw him praying before when he came on.
Well, I don't know. I mean, okay, maybe he is.
I
I don't know.
He didn't listen. He'd meet Zuma in the changing room afterwards.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
He's like,
didn't somebody pinch somebody else's ass before that? Who was that?
Sufal.
Who did he pinch?
Dawson.
He pinched Dawson's ass. Yeah, he did. He gave him a little.
No, it was the other way
how
around.
has this gone
Or Dawson
from,
pinched him. Okay.
Yes.
how has this gone from dicks and ass?
That's the American way. If you haven't found out.
I was going to
that's
say.
why Sufal's not played for a couple of weeks, because he did it to Zuma, and Zuma gave him the one for.
Zuma just turned around and there was like a contact injury. So, yeah. All right, Craig Dawson. Man, he is 31 years old. My goodness, I sort of didn't know he was that old. Born when I was in high school. Okay, I'm looking up to see nothing about his religious affiliation. However, he did play for Rochdale Cricket Club as a batsman. Hey, can I ask you about cricket?
Whatever that means.
Okay, did the bowlers bat in cricket?
Yes, all rounders, but I'm a bowler and specifically not a batter. But I can't bat. But I can throw it.
Would you have to bat if your turn came up, or can you just say?
Yeah. If it got down the order, then yeah. If I'm coming in at 8 or 9, I would have to bat.
You would have to bat. Okay, so it's like the National League, Lucas. Basically, it's like you don't have the DH.
Well, I may not have to bat if my team knock off the
The
runs.
only bowling I do.
Understood. Yeah.
The only bowling I do requires bowling in 300 with 13 strikes.
Candlepin, baby. You got to come up to New England and do some candlepin. That's where.
You mean
David,
duckpin?
you ever bowl candlepin, David?
It's
You ever
called
do
duckpin
candlepin
down
bowling?
here.
Well, it's similar. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
I don't like talking about cricket too much because I got released by Yorkshire at an early age, and it's still a sore point for me. It's very sore.
Well, I support Essex. I can't say it properly, but
so do I.
Chelmsford.
Chelmsford. They play in Chelmsford. How could I not? They play. Is that an inhaler?
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay? I have an inhaler too. You got asthma?
No, I just take it. I just take it for a laugh.
No.
I don't know how you English do
It was
so,
paint. He's trying to get through the show.
Yeah, no,
I'm like, if you know, I've had it all my life, mate. Since I was 6 months.
I mean, talking about Zuma and his cod piece, I'll do that to you any time.
I have asthma as well. I know how you feel. Yeah, so I have an inhaler too.
So do I when Zuma comes around the corner.
I would take your breath away. I can tell you that much. So Dawson played for Rochdale Cricket Club as a batsman and had a trial with Lancashire
Lightning
Cricket Club. Yes.
Well, that's the if we're going to get technical, that's the franchise T20 one-day name. Don't give those to the.
I've never been more lost in my sporting life.
No, cricket. I saw that England lost in the T20 World Cup to New Zealand, I think, today, if I'm not mistaken.
As long as, to be fair to you, it's probably the worst time for me to talk about Yorkshire Cricket Club because they're embroiled in a massive racism row at the moment.
I heard about that.
no.
Yeah, no, I heard about that. I heard
It's
about
probably
that.
not the best time to be in Yorkshire talking about Yorkshire Cricket Club as well, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially because I did laugh because Michael Vaughan, who said that he wasn't racist, said that there were too many of them in terms of Asian people in Yorkshire. But he's also Rebecca's idol growing up because she loves cricket. So, you know.
Did he really say that? There are too many of
he
them?
did. Yeah.
Referring to, like, not white people?
Jesus.
Yeah, there were too many of them. But also some of the better players in Yorkshire's history cricket have actually come from that ethnicity. So, you know, well played.
Oh, man, that's a little tough. That's a little tough right there.
That's a tough.
It was basically what the Henry bloke did for us when he said that black people from Africa were African mayhem.
Yeah,
basically like that.
That wasn't our finest hour by any stretch. So England and New Zealand, and then the next semifinal is Pakistan versus Australia.
Yeah, again,
it's so weird for Pakistan to be good at a sport. Like, Pakistan's good at a sport. That's weird to me.
I had no joke. The Indians were chased home from the airport the other day when they got back because of their country's failings in cricket. That's the level.
Let me tell you, we have a relatively large Indian population here in Chelmsford, and cricket is a very big deal. I do know that, a very big deal. And yes, they're very serious about it.
India versus Pakistan is like City United. It's like up there with rivalry. I mean, there is deaths over that.
Chelmsford, it's Celtic and Rangers, right? Basically, I mean, it's
like life or death for them.
It's literally like a religious war, sort of. Yeah.
David is fed up of cricket. Or David, you just every time I look at you,
he likes cricket. Probably, I don't know.
No, not really.
He does like cricket. He loves it.
You know,
not really. I just have no experience with it.
It's as boring as baseball.
Although a weird fact is that my younger sister is married to a retired cricket player who played for the Lancashire Lightning.
Who was he married to?
Ian Sutcliffe is his name.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
No way.
You know him?
No relation to Peter, I hope.
No. That's my younger sister's husband's name, Ian Sutcliffe.
Ian Sutcliffe, and he was a cricketer.
Yeah, he played for the Lancashire Lightning.
Do they live here in Boston?
No, they live in England.
He's not visited Leeds at any point.
They live in Crowthorne. It's a small town near Slough.
Is he
Reading.
It's near Slough? That sounds nice.
Yeah.
Berkshire.
Is he sort of?
I'll tell you what, though. If you've never watched cricket,
Slough sounds nice.
It's awful.
That's where the office was. So I know.
Exactly. That's why I remember it whenever I drive by there visiting her.
I challenge you, Lucas and David and you, Lee. Day one of the Ashes at Christmas time. Get watching, or even the Boxing Day test over England versus Australia in the Ashes this winter.
What's the home run called?
No, I actually like cricket. I do.
Six.
Okay, David. Let me ask you this. David, is
Sounds average.
Ian Sutcliffe, right? Is it I-A-I-N?
Yeah, E-I-A-I. Sorry, I-A-I-N.
Okay,
extra I for Ian.
And he played for
the Lancashire Lightning. Yes,
he played for Wakefield HMP.
Now, is it this guy? Is it this guy? He's from Leeds.
He's from Leeds. Yes.
Okay, I have to say this is kind of incredible. All right. If it's this guy, all right, Ian Sutcliffe.
Yeah, that's my sister's husband.
Okay, look at his birthday. That's exactly 1 year after I was born. To the day, 1 year after I was born.
My God, another man has the same birthday as Lee.
Who would have thought?
You know who else did? Oscar Gamble had my birthday.
Wait, quickly, Lee,
yes.
Quickly. Do you know who Peter Sutcliffe is?
He must be some sort of pervert, if the way you mentioned it. I don't know.
yeah, the way you're talking about him.
Is he a Jimmy Savile type guy?
He's worse than Jimmy Savile, mate.
Oh, he is? Okay,
Yeah,
well, I don't, you know what?
Is he like the Yorkshire Ripper or something, or is that some other person?
That is correct, Dave.
Oh.
And Ian.
Hence why hopefully that Ian wasn't related to Peter.
1 hour of the week in review, half an hour of Declan Rice's God, and then an encore of the strangest shit.
You mean the climax?
Yes. And Lee, I should tell you, Pakistan is actually, you'd be surprised to know, fantastic at men's field hockey.
Lee has jizzed himself over there. He's.
I can't tell if he's
You know
frozen.
what
Oh,
There's two of me. There's two of me. I closed my browser on accident.
Lee, make the same face as Lee.
I don't know how this is happening. I closed my browser on accident while I was trying to look up stuff about Ian Sutcliffe or Peter Sutcliffe or Peter Ian Sutcliffe, whoever he is. All right, the Yorkshire. Oh, he's a serial killer. The Yorkshire. Okay.
Just to lighten the mood. Get out.
He's dead now. He died of COVID
Alright.
last year.
He died of
Okay.
COVID.
Yeah, in HMP wherever.
Okay, boys. I think it's time to wrap it up pretty
All right,
soon.
all right. Ian Sutcliffe is
Yeah,
exactly what
apologies
you're
to Ian
younger.
Sutcliffe.
But the only thing I want you to take away from what we've all talked about tonight is
Don't
that-
kill people.
is that Ian Sutcliffe is exactly 1 year younger than I am. Okay. And by the way, if this picture is any indication, he's bald. Is he bald?
Yes,
And
he
we
is.
all,
That's
we all-
what I like to hear. This is why I do this. All right. You get to my age and you can do this. This is why you do it. Right, Lucas?
what we have learned tonight is we all want to be like Kurt Zuma. Great on the pitch and great in every box possible.
We all want to be like Kurt Zuma radiates confidence everywhere he goes.
But
all
I
right.
do not like baseball. As Petey once said, all that means if they can bowl a fast ball at 90 to 100 mile an hour is that they can have a wank faster than you can. And it is the truth.
I'm not the
So you
biggest
don't like baseball, but you like cricket?
Baseball shit. It's
I'm
awful.
not
It's
the
so
biggest baseball
boring.
guy, but Tom, if you came to a game, you'd have fun. All right.
What
They're
about
like-
basketball?
They're like
If you-
5-6 hours long.
No, they're not. Well, yeah, they are. Actually, they kind of
They are.
But you know what? If you came to a game, you'd
Oh
have
no,
fun.
hang on. Basketball's very different. Basketball end to end, fast paced. Love that. Yes, fair enough. Timeouts and the TV stuff. If you get used to it, that's fine. I can even deal with American football, even though it's that long. It still excites me. But baseball, I've tried and I've tried and I've tried.
I know it's
And
not my
I-
favorite. It's not my favorite.
It's
Doesn't
too long.
cricket? Can't it go on longer than baseball?
It goes on for
No, but
5
cricket
days.
it depends
Lucas.
what format. You've got 5
It goes
day
on for
cricket. you've
5
got 50
days.
over 50 over cricket. You've got 4-day cricket in the county championship with
Who wants to
Lancashire,
watch a bunch of
etc.
old guys play cricket? 50 over.
No,
Where
but
they watch it?
today, for instance, what you guys will probably enjoy because it's just
You're
like a
losing
home
me,
run
Tom.
derby is the
50,
2020 World Cup.
50 and over. I mean, were they out there with
but
walkers?
in America, it's more about
David
the
gets it.
whole-
He knows what I'm doing.
the whole event. Isn't it? Let's be honest.
And
Like,
It's all right. Americans win stuff and call themselves the world champions, even though it takes place in their own
Yeah,
country.
well, come at me, bro. Come at me. All right.
Because we're America.
Get
We're the
yourself a
greatest
baseball.
man.
Get yourself a baseball team and come after the Atlanta Braves, son. See how you do. All right. Get yourself a
Nah.
football team and come after Tom Brady and the Bucks. The GOAT, baby. Yeah. See how
I know
you
your
do.
NBL team couldn't match us.
See how you do. See how you do. Bring them over. Bring them over, Atherton. Bring them over. Come on now.
Yeah,
bring
bring-
them over.
Bring the
Take 'em on-
London,
take
bring
on-
the
take
London
on-
Tigers.
Take
over
on.
here.
I tell you, I take on the Atlanta Braves or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the who are they?
Sorry, Lee, did you just
Who
out
won the? Was it
yourself
Milwaukee
as
won the
as
NBA championship? I can't remember.
Hang on a
Huh?
minute. Did you just out yourself as a little closet Brady fan and not actually a fan of the Boston? Like
No, I'm a
New
Patriots
England.
fan. No, I'm a Patriots fan. I
you
don't.
just-
I don't.
You did
I
just
don't
root
cheer-
for Brady and the Bucks, though.
No, I don't choose Tampa Bay. I don't. No. I'm
You-
not saying it. No,
you're
they won the
bandwagon
Super
Brady
Are
Bowl.
you
fan, is that
are
right?
No,
you
they won the
multiple
Super Bowl.
supporters? Are you
They won
multi
the-
supporters?
Well,
He's one of them. In the other room, he's got a Chelsea shrine or something like that.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
there's only really 3 sports entities that I really care about, and that's West Ham, TCU football, and women's soccer, and the Boston Bruins, and that's really it. And the other ones, I mean, I like the Pats, but whatever.
And the
Those are the only 3 I
Patriots,
really
and
live
the
by.
Bucks and the Braves. See, this
No,
is the only thing
no.
I would never understand about American sports.
I know it's
Is
I
different.
know what he's
I
going
know.
to say.
Is
I know,
that
it's different. I know.
You follow
It is.
teams that are in different states to you, and then you follow teams that are in your states, like the Patriots, but then you go, well, we got the Braves as well. But you're in a different state. That's
Don't worry,
sacrilege
we
over here if you did
slander
that.
those people. We slander them.
I know. I went
It's
to college.
sacrilege.
I went to college at TCU. Okay, and I've lived
Oh
in
no,
Boston for
no.
25
See,
years.
I can understand that one, but it's like if
okay.
you lived in a completely different state and you go, well, I follow them. That's sacrilege over here.
Well, you know what it is, though. You know what it is. A couple of teams, like the Atlanta Braves and the Chicago Cubs in the '80s and '90s, were on national TV when other clubs were not, and so a lot of people started following them because their games were always nationally televised because they were on cable, all across the country, whereas every other game was local, and so a lot of people are Braves are coming.
I understand. Like,
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm just explaining how that happened.
Like the San Diego Chargers, did you just up and move teams from one state to another? That's
Yeah, it
like
happens
just
all the
moving
time.
West Ham to Scotland. It just like,
Well, it's like it's like the Wimbledon thing, right? When they moved to Milton Keynes, and
you're moving like another length's country away from each other.
well, look
It
at the
just-
Raiders. The Raiders
Lee,
move every 10
Lee,
years.
we went mad because we moved 2.5 miles away. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I know. Imagine your team moving like when the
it's like going up to Scotland, like the length of like.
it's farther than
more.
that. It's a lot
Yeah,
farther than
more.
that. I mean, well, not San Diego, but like the Rams moving from Los Angeles to St. Louis and then back to Los Angeles. That's half the country. That's like
Well, what
several
we do about the
England.
supporters that were in that location beforehand? They just get told to just deal with
Yeah,
it.
they're told to fuck off.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about them.
What are we talking about? Milton Keynes Dons?
Franchise relocation, which
Almighty
basically,
MK Dons.
I mean, imagine if you were grew up in the 1950s as a fan of the Brooklyn Dodgers and they moved to Los Angeles, which they did.
It's all a mess. There's no Jazz in Utah.
Yeah, that's the worst nickname in sports, the Utah Jazz. There's no Jazz in Utah.
Also, the Los Angeles Lakers moved from Minnesota, where there's a lot of lakes. There's no lakes in
Right, there's no
Los
lakes in Los Angeles, and and the Lakers.
No,
Right,
there's
it
no
made
water.
sense. It made sense in Minnesota because it's a land of 10,000 lakes, and in fact more. But yeah, there's no lakes in Los Angeles, and there's no Jazz in Utah. And
there's no West in Ham, is there?
Oh shit! You've alerted them to the East Ham West Ham thing, James. Shush.
Okay, West Ham.
We
being
were
in East
winning
London,
until that point.
It does confuse a lot of people when I say West Ham. They're like, "Oh, what part of London is that?" If they bother to ask, I'm like, "Oh, it's East London. Why is it called West Ham?" I'm like, I don't know. It's a borough. It's you know what I mean? It's like a little. There's East Ham and West Ham, and there's Canning Town, and there's all these other, and nobody really wants to know. They don't really want to know.
Upton Park, Lee. There's Upton Park.
There's Upton Park and then Stratford now and whatever other. I mean, but they're always like, oh, where is West Ham? Like, oh, it's in London. And usually that is enough. But what part of London? Because they went there as a student or something. Oh, East London. Like you probably haven't been there because you really wouldn't have gone if you just went as a tourist. I mean, there's no reason to go there. So at least I don't think there is. Oh, hey, look, Ken's here. What's going on, Ken? How long has he been here?
He's been here since the Zuma.
You missed the dick talk.
The Zuma Corey debate.
He would have laughed at all that stuff.
Zuma and his Corey.
Yeah, no, we're going pretty late.
Okay, but can I just say this, right?
Dicks and fart jokes, never outdated.
You can't end it on 2 hours 50. Just at least give it 10 minutes.
We've gone way longer than this before, Tom. John, you've been here and we've done like 3.5 in the past. So
yeah, I was very
just for the simple fact, I just want to see what happens to David in the next.
That
10
was
minutes.
when we got into the Buzz Nutter stuff. The Buzz Nutter.
Oh God,
all the names, Pete Lecoq and all that
Keys.
stuff. All the great American sports.
Who remembers Mousy Girl? I remember that one and all.
the Mousy Girl episode. I think that was the best
from an old
James.
song.
Yes.
That's a
Thank
lyric
you
from
for
an
bringing
old
that up.
song.
That was actually a classic. Lee actually
the
going
Mousy
through
Girl.
talking about Jesse Lingard as the Mousy Girl. And
Jesse Lingard, he's looking at the Mousy Girl again. He is. That hot girl, she's humiliating him in public. That's the problem. That's what hot girls do. They humiliate you in public. The Mousy Girl stands by your side. The Mousy Girl is like, so he's looking at her again. He's looking at her.
I love being humiliated in public.
I must admit, even I think Charlie said it, I don't know what's more worrying, the Mousy Girl or Lee's past.
It's you know what, you would not be surprised at how shockingly tame my past is. Very, 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 very tame, as you might imagine.
To be honest with you, hairy women is I wouldn't say that's tamely.
Well, I mean, we have long winters here in New England, and sometimes the ladies aren't super encouraged to keep things smooth all winter, and I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
Rough around the edges.
It doesn't make any difference to me. It doesn't make any difference.
Oh Jesus, it does.
No, I mean,
But
you know,
you ain't been in the East End on a Friday night, Lee. You're missing out. That is a regular occurrence.
I haven't. The last time I was there was Ken was with me. Last time I was there was a long time ago. See, Mark knows what I'm talking about. You know, you gotta. I have no idea what he's. I have no idea what this means. Zero. I don't know what. I have no idea what that means. What does that mean? What am I missing?
I think Pan was a goat god or whatever, so he had hairy legs.
Oh, he was a goat.
And like Greek
yeah.
mythology.
You guys ever go to Naples? You ever go to Naples? If you go to Naples and you go to the
which one are we talking about?
I'm talking about the
Naples, Florida, or Naples, Italy.
The Italian one. I haven't been to the one.
Country.
Oh, not Areolas.
If you Napoli, right, Napoli. So if you go to the archaeological museum, there's a room you can go to where you have to ask to go in because it's where all like the dirty artifacts are, you know. And there's some really disgusting images of Pan.
Do you have a membership, Pete? Do you have a membership?
I've been, and it's well. I mean, it's.
Did you take some pictures of that exhibit?
I've been, but I didn't take any pictures. It's. I mean, listen. It was the Roman culture was, you know, sort of not great by our standards, and it's pretty gross. And Pan, the goat god. Pan got around. Let me tell you, Pan made the rounds. Pan made the rounds big time. So, you know, there's a lot of Pan going on in that place. Other than that, I like Naples. It was a pretty cool city, actually.
I mean, it's literally the dirtiest city in all of Italy. But carry on.
I loved it. I liked it.
It's filled with history, but also a lot of bullets.
Best pizza and
best pizza by far.
Best pizza, absolutely, and
worst waste management company.
Best atmosphere, yes. No, I loved.
They're great in waste.
I liked it more than I liked.
They are fantastic in waste management.
Well, I mean, I love Naples actually. I thought
they really know how to take them out.
Okay, I will.
They really do.
Oh, I have heard of this. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm not going to look it up right now though.
Top of the Pops. Oh my god, that is a throwback. John would have probably still been in this country.
If you're interested in Naples at all, I'm just going to pump that show again. Gomorra la Serie takes place in Naples. Most critically acclaimed show. It's a great show.
Is that right? And what's it about?
Yeah.
Is it about the mafia?
It's about the mafia in Naples.
I love mafia shows. Okay, so I'll probably
It's got nothing on Top of the Pops.
And it's subtitled, presumably.
It's subtitled, but it's like it's not like the typical mafia people in suits because as Tom referred to, it's more like grimy and violent. They have like clans there and stuff. So it's
okay.
It's like puts The Godfather on its head, but it's more like The Wire, The Sopranos show. There's a lot of strands going on at once and a lot of characters.
Hang on, let me just kick my chair back. We're into movie review hour.
Gomorra like this.
I know it's a series.
Okay.
It's like an Italian Squid Game.
My ex-wife.
No, it's not like that at all.
And you're going to proceed to watch it dubbed like an uncultured swine.
If you watch Squid Game dubbed, then you.
I don't watch anything dubbed. I haven't watched Squid Game, but I don't watch anything.
But in season 4, one of the characters went to London. Tom.
Really?
Oh.
He said the coffee was shit.
I do go to a resident Italian place in Leeds, La Bottega Milanese. Is only Italian coffee.
Could you say that again? I didn't hear it.
Yes.
La Bottega Milanese.
Did you do this?
And then he did that.
La Bottega Milanese. La Bottega Milanese.
David's like really Italian though.
Yeah, I'm half Italian. My mom's from Italy.
Right.
La Bottega Milanese. Is that? Am I saying that correctly? I don't know.
Yeah, the Milanese Derby, Inter and Milan.
Yeah, La Bottega Milanese. It's a place in Leeds, and they do the coffee not too hot, but just right, so you're in and out of there like a proper Italian coffee place in about 4 or 5 minutes.
We already did that. Ken. Sorry. Okay, so then where is it now? It's in Leeds, you said?
Yeah. La Bottega Milanese.
David,
La Bottega Milanese. I thought
what's the best Italian restaurant? What's the best Italian restaurant in Boston?
La Leeds.
Best Italian restaurant in New England that you've been to?
I can't tell you because Italian American cuisine is like completely different from Italian cuisine.
I know, but what's your favorite?
I don't know. My mom's Italian. She hates going out to Italian American restaurants.
Oh, I see. I get you.
Not legitimate.
Have you been any places? Have you been any places
cannot
remotely
beat a
authentic?
stone-baked pizza in Italy. And cutting it up with a scissors instead of an.
Yeah, I can. I got a DiGiorno in my freezer.
Yeah. Have you heard of the Olive Garden? The finest of
No, Olive Garden. If my mom saw me eating at Olive Garden, she would take a pistol to her head and shoot us.
But unlimited.
You must have never been to Chuck E. Cheese, huh?
That's the only appropriate
Jesus,
reaction
David.
to Olive Garden. No, Olive Garden is an insult even to
America.
non-Italians.
Well, you can offer
Olive
yourself
Garden
with a
is-
gun whenever you want.
Well, I mean,
That's the price of freedom, baby.
have you ever
right.
had?
You've got
David,
2 minutes and 10 seconds to drag it out.
I know. Have you ever had an Italian meal that's even remotely close to authentic at a restaurant? In the
Chicken
U.S.
Uh,
In the U.S.
No, I would say not in the North End. No,
Not in the North End.
no,
Because the food I had in Naples was really not like what you get in the North End at all. You know what I mean?
exactly. It's like it's really fresh. It's like
It wasn't as heavy.
slight seasoning. It's not like
Yeah.
huge portions.
Yeah, it
and
was a
like
lot of
stuff like that.
seafood, and it wasn't as heavy. And it wasn't.
No,
as
it's
heavy
like
with-
light. It shouldn't fill your stomach up.
Right, the sauces weren't like
Fucking amazing we
You know what
got
I mean?
here from Kurt
So-
Zuma's dick.
Yeah. Well, Kurt Zuma's dick is everywhere. I mean, it's awfully hard to miss.
Literally everywhere.
It is awfully hard to miss. Yeah.
Did you
Every,
eat snails
every
while
box,
you were
every
in France?
crevice, every nook and cranny.
I ate
Say it again,
snails.
Tom.
I'm gonna
snails.
start eating French foods. I think. Maybe like Kirk.
L'escargot.
I've eaten snails. Yeah,
L'escargot.
they're
No,
garlic.
my uncle from Italy makes snails for us when we go visit him.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
I'd say
Make
you know,
snails.
they also if you go
yeah. He like cooks it up in a sauce and then like serves it all us to us.
if you go to Chinatown, some of the
Not
Asian
picturing
restaurants in
somebody
Chinatown
like craft
have
in
snails.
Play-Doh.
Chinatown in Boston, you can get snails, differently prepared. But you can get
You can probably get fucking anything in Chinatown. I remember watching what was it? An Idiot Abroad, and he went to one of the markets in China, and some of the stuff you get on sticks out there is just.
Oh well, no, that
wild.
China's very Chinatown is going to be much more like watered down American. What's legal here? You can't you can't buy
Lee,
like a live cat or something. Like
you can
in
start. You
China.
can start wrapping up. 25 seconds left.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Italians eat snails also. I did honestly.
Keep it up.
Yeah.
I mean, they're right next door to each other.
I'm from the
Like,
south of Italy by the seashore.
Yeah.
We eat like everything.
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
Ken's just like I don't even know what he's talking about.
We eat sea urchins too.
That's
Sea urchin that flop in the middle.
Psych.
They're
Get
right
ready for
next-
4 hours, bitch.
They're right next to each other, Italy and France. They eat a lot of the same food. Why shouldn't they? Yeah. Anyway, Naples. I would highly recommend you go to Naples if you ever have
A
a chance.
lengthy show, one that Kurt Zuma would be proud of.
Kurt Zuma.
I could just go for another hour making different jokes about
No,
Kurt
it's
Zuma.
okay.
Oh.
Well, see,
We should. We should.
I told you it's Veterans Day tomorrow. My boys don't have school. I don't have to get up early and make the lunches tomorrow. I don't have to do anything. We'll have to work, but I mean, I sit here. This is what I do at work all day anyway. If I sit here, so it doesn't really
I
matter.
mean, to be fair, perfect day for Kurt Zuma with his loaded weapon.
And he don't fire blanks.
Well,
His gun never jams.
that we don't know. I mean, that we don't.
He's got 5 kids, Lee. 5 kids, mate. That man's got more shooters than
really?
the Territorial Army.
Wait, does he really have 5 kids?
He's trigger happy.
Wait, does he really have 5
He's
kids?
got more shooters than,
No, there's no way.
than
He's
Jerry
like-
Adams.
He doesn't have 5
Oh,
kids.
Tom.
Does he? Does he really have 5 kids? No, he's too young. He couldn't have 5. He's too
But he
young.
could. Issa Diop was married when he came over here, and he's only 21.
Kurt Zuma's 27. He's 27. He can't have 5 kids. There's no way.
I mean, you can.
I need to get.
Oh, we can. I think he showed you how he could.
I mean, to be fair, but I looked at it,
Well,
he started when he was about 15.
I mean, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. Yeah, I can imagine. Sometimes probably just walks in the room, and half the women are with child. So,
With
well, let me see
child.
here. He's from the Central African Republic. Yeah. He's named after. Oh my God. Oh wow. Did you know this? He's named after Kurt
See a picture.
Sloan. Wait. No, it's not a picture. He's named after Kurt Sloan, Jean-Claude Van Damme's character in the 1989
Yes.
film Kickboxer.
Yes, he should be.
Nice.
Yes,
He is
100%. He should be named
The
after
guy
that guy.
Jean-Claude Van Damme played in Kickboxer.
Where does
Wow,
the happy come from?
And
though?
his middle name is Happy.
Oh,
Where does the
Yes.
happy come from?
It
Well, the happy
reflects-
comes from what he does.
Where do you think Happy comes from? Yeah, he brings the happy wherever he goes.
He was born.
the happy was a
Oh my
name that
God.
was added later.
He does.
There's
He has
There's a
3
name
kids.
called Happy Hour
When Zuma's involved, it's
Yeah, no
definitely
kidding.
happy.
At least an hour, I would think. He has
Jesus,
3 kids.
NH Hammer, bloody hell.
He has 3 kids. Well, he's
Oh,
not
Antonio
wrong, although
Cromartie. He's got 12 kids with like 9 different women. It's amazing.
Well, at least they know who he is.
He's
I
not
mean,
wrong
just
about that,
fucking
though,
stop.
Tom. It is kind of true.
Trust me, his
Zuma,
child support was through the roof.
Zuma has 3 kids with
Isn't
his
he the
wife.
one that was involved in a shooting, or am I thinking of the wrong Cromartie?
Yeah, that's how you get 9 kids.
I swear that was it DRC that was involved in a shooting, or am I?
Yes.
I'm trying to
Dominic
remember.
Rogers-Cromartie.
Plaxico Burris shot himself in the leg.
Look at me, just whapping out my NFL knowledge. Just I don't miss.
Very solid job.
Did you say whacking it out, Tom?
Whapping it out.
By the
He's
way,
doing
by
a
the way,
Zuma
by the
impression.
way, you guys do know where Zuma started his career in France,
Son
right?
Etienne.
Absolutely,
I knew you were going to say that.
absolutely.
I already knew that.
Absolutely. Yet another one who has come to us and been he's a great player coming from Saint Etienne.
Question for Neil, really quickly before I go, because
Yes.
I'm probably gonna have to go do some making up. Is
Me
is
too,
Anzac-
actually.
He's
for
gonna
Neil,
read. He's gonna read Kirk Zuma's 3 good tips how to make up.
He only has one good tip, but it's a very good tip.
3 tips on how to recover.
Zuma has one excellent tip, and that's all he needs.
For Neil,
Yeah.
really quickly, is Anzac Day separate to that, or is it that?
Oh, right.
Is that the Australian terminology for it? Or is Anzac Day completely different? Anzac cookies or biscuits, by the way, that they used to make. My nan used to do Anzacs from thingy, because that was what I think the Australians called their medic people. I may be completely wrong. They used to make the biscuits for the soldiers or something like that. Beautiful.
They probably called them dingery dongs or something because those Australians have. They have.
I mean, that
stupid-
is
they have
violently
stupid words for
called
the
everything.
Australians.
Oh, the didgeridoo, Mike. Blah, 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 blah. Although Australians are lovely people, but what they're talking about, I have no idea.
Diggery dong.
Sorry, now that you've taken your hat off, I swear John and James are actually brothers. You very, very
Oh,
similar.
yeah.
there.
You didn't know it.
They're,
I don't know which one I feel
no. Okay,
worse
so
for
Anzac
then.
Day is April 26th.
Am
We
I
are
right?
good-
Neil,
We
am
are
I
good
right in
looking
what I'm saying?
motherfuckers.
Am I right in what I'm saying, though, Neil, about the biscuits being what they used to do? Am I completely wrong there? All right, Lucas, there was no need to show off the amount of hair you have.
Yeah, that's what they call them. They call them dingery dongs. That's
Me and Lee are related.
Australian word for everything there.
All right, David, I guess me and you have just paired up because everybody else is paired off.
What was
Can I-
that?
Can I
Hey,
have you as my
Lucas,
new girlfriend, please, David?
what was that band?
The
What was
chat.
it? The Chats. This is a fine punk band from Australia that you should check out. They're called the Chats, and they're pretty good. And they have pretty strong Australian accents. So
And the lead singer or bassist has a bowl cut mullet.
he does have a bowl cut
Fucking
mullet. It's
incredible.
fantastic. So Anzac stands for Australia, New Zealand, and Company. Is that what that stands for?
Well,
Like-
if you've searched it, then yeah. Probably.
No, I don't know. I'm asking Australia, New Zealand, and Company. Like when Laverne and Shirley moved to California, and then remember Shirley left the show, and they started calling it Laverne and Shirley and Company because it was basically just Laverne and like all the other characters. You guys remember that, right? No. Okay.
You're on a
No.
different wavelength to us.
No,
Lee. You've
no
you've got
memory of
age
that
on
at
your
all.
side.
All right. That's classic. Never gets old. Never gets old.
Well, don't.
Oh,
I
wait,
tell you,
wait.
it's a good job that there's no French people in here because the jokes that could be made about the Frenchies in the war,
I
it's
know.
just. I will listen. I
know
went
what,
that
though?
far
They
with
love it,
Jerry
Tom.
Adams.
They
I could
really
do something
appreciate
way
that humor.
worse with the French.
They love that kind of humor. Believe me, you go over there, start telling World War II jokes. They laugh and they just they think it's the greatest thing they've ever heard. So they never gets old. Never gets old. Oh wait,
Listen.
Fo says he's met. Okay.
So I
Okay,
wouldn't have pegged his wife as
okay.
being a Sandra. I'm not going to lie.
Sandra!
Sandra, let's make another kid. Let's make another kid tonight. Don't we? You ain't walking for a week. Let's
I
go.
was going to say she probably can't make any more kids. It's
I was
probably
gonna
better
say,
her.
they got to wheel Sandra in. She gets to sit in the wheelchair section. 'cause,
Should we
With a
call him
squeaky wheel.
Kurt Zuma and company?
I feel for her, to be honest with you.
Kurt Zoom and a company et al.
What does
The company
ANZAC
just is
stand for? Oh, it stands for Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. So it doesn't stand for N Company. It stands for Australia and New Zealand Army Corps. And I'm sure that's actually, to be honest, I think that's like a really serious day of remembrance in Australia.
Don't
I think
mention
it's,
I think
it's like
Gallipoli was their famous battle.
it's like pretty solemn. Yeah, I think it's pretty
Don't
solemn.
mention war.
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. Oh, here we go. Oh, Neil was telling us, but he misspelled army, and he came down here and he said army. So okay, now he told us. Okay.
Army Corps. Okay.
Yes, I know. I know. Fault. Believe I've seen I've seen every episode of that many times over. John Cleese, great West Ham supporter. Great West Ham fan. He's not dead.
He's not. Oh no. Oh fuck! It's all going.
John
wrong.
Cleese was in Boston like last week.
I got mixed up with Boise. I apologize. That's my fault.
Oh yes, he is. Yes, he is. He died. I can't remember that guy's name, but from All the Fools and Horses. Yeah. All right. I'm going to stop, and everybody else is going to stop. No, he's not. John Cleese is not dead. No, he's not. No, he was here. He was here not that long ago. Ken, he's not dead. No, he's fine.
I did watch a Netflix
He's on
movie
Twitter
a long time ago, Siege of Jadetville. Great film.
He's in the news currently. John Cleese pulls out of Cambridge Uni event over woke rules.
He's not. He's not a big fan of some of the censorship and academia.
Look at Dave. Dave's praying like he's like, can you end this stream, please?
He has tomorrow off.
Please.
No, he has tomorrow off. I know he does. He has tomorrow off.
I'll tell you what he's thinking. He's thinking, shit, Italian past. If they mention Mussolini, I'm in trouble.
Oh, that's
Really?
like the old Alexi Sale bit, right? Mussolini, we love you a lot. You were hung from a lamppost and shot. Yeah, that was. Did anybody ever watch Alexi Sale's stuff? Nobody ever see that show? Nobody ever saw that. Nobody remembers that.
I need groveling to do, and I need a piss really badly. It's been a pleasure, boys.
You know what? We're all. I've been off for hours now. We're all off.
It's much better when we have a nice little debate. We don't argue about Vlasic and insult each other about FIFA and YouTube, and then just talk about Kurt Zouma and his massive cock for an hour. This is the way. This is the way.
This is the way.
I know that was all aimed at me, but I agree with you, Tom.
I feel love and harmony and peace among
all it took was
people.
Kurt Zouma.
All it took. Kurt Zouma brings us together.
He's a great peacemaker.
Yeah,
he brings a lot of things together.
Tom, just put the Noble shirt on before you walk next door.
Lee, can you name this show Kirk and his Corey? That's what it's going to be called.
I don't know if I can do. I think it's like. I think
you should probably wear that before you leave the room.
Wait, if you don't want it,
let's do a test. Let's do a test. How long, and if she is watching, how long would it take for her to come in here if I threaten to do something bad with this shirt?
Oh, you're playing with fire.
She's never come on our show before when you were there. So
I mean, if I may be in the clear, if I don't hear a door go, I may be in the clear, and there's a lovely bin here that it could end up in.
Why do you people? Why are you awake at 3:00 in the morning? By the way, is there a reason?
I was actually asleep. I didn't feel good after my jab, and I was actually asleep. But I got up specifically for you.
Oh, thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. How about you, James? Why are you awake at 3:00 in the morning?
Because you asked me to come on, and I'm completely bollocksed, and I'm just waiting for you to end this stream so I can go to sleep, mate. That's me being pretty precise on the matter.
You don't have to stay. You can go.
Yes, I know, but I'm committed, Lee. You know what I mean?
I know. I do appreciate that. No, I do. All right. Is she going to come into the room, or are we going to stop? What are we doing?
Hang on. I'll try and get her for 2 seconds. How about
okay.
that?
All right. We'll give it another couple minutes. So. Who wants to hear about? Who wants to? You guys know that not too far from where I grew up, there's a lot of Czech people. A lot of people of Czech heritage in Texas. Did you know that? A lot of Czechs.
No.
Yes. There's a big Sokol Hall in Ennis. The Sokol Hall is like the big Czech function hall. They have polka dances.
Hello, everybody.
Oh well.
Oh yes.
Okay. Well, God save the Queen. Here she is.
How is everybody?
I don't know. I can't see you. I don't know.
I can't see you.
There's no need to see me. It's fine.
Don't say that.
Come on now.
No.
All right. Well, at least Are you wearing a robe? That's
No, I'm in an Inter Milan shirt. It's even worse.
Who is it? Tom's shirt?
He's wearing mine.
Oh, that's gross.
Oh, it's one of those type of
ordeals.
ordeals.
Yeah, I was gonna say they wear each other's clothes.
It's one of those.
I don't know.
Listen,
See,
we're
I
not
don't.
wearing matching jumpers yet, so it's fine.
Okay.
Do you do his makeup?
I don't need makeup. How dare you? Have you seen those disgustingly long eyelashes? He doesn't need makeup.
Oh,
I have long eyelashes.
Same.
Yeah, it can't. I know. I have
They're
long
asking if I
eyelashes.
do your makeup.
Well, clearly she wasn't listening because I was threatening to do unspeakable things to this.
I saw you bring that in. I was not happy.
That tone is scary. That tone just got scary.
Do you know that's the one shirt he won't share?
We've killed
He
Neil's
won't put that
entire
on.
afternoon. Do you realize that Neil has spent the whole afternoon just doing nothing, just like sitting in front of the
He
computer?
started with us at lunch. He's going to end up with dinner.
You guys realize it's spring? It's spring in Australia. It's like beautiful in Australia. It's spring.
Sorry, NH Hammer, you'd be so lucky, mate. Also, yes, shout out to Fo Sheezy. That Inter Milan show was sent to me as a gift from Fo. Absolute legend.
Was it really? You know who
Yeah,
sent me a
which is
shirt?
I've now no longer have claim over.
You know who sent me a shirt? You guys know Trevor? You know Tebow, who used to be on with us sometimes? You ever see Trevor on here? Tebow, he gets in the chelmsford sometimes.
Yes.
He sent me a Chelmsford City shirt because he lives in Chelmsford. And I told him I
Yeah,
live in
I
Chelmsford.
feel some type of way about that, man, so I won't go into that.
What, Chelmsford? What's wrong with
No,
Chelmsford?
Tebow. Anyway, we'll move on.
Oh, was there a thing? Were you involved in? Oh, yeah, no, okay. I didn't know that was you. Was that you?
No, it wasn't me. The guy's just an arsehole. How about that? We'll do that.
Oh, he is? Oh, well, I haven't
He's trying to say, Lee, move on and not talk about it.
Okay, I haven't. He was very nice to me. All right, that's all I can say. That's how I have a Chelmsford City shirt.
Listen,
they're not
man likes to have a lot of fingers and a lot of pies. Likes to get involved in everybody's business, but hey, who am I to?
Okay.
I like pie.
Okay.
I don't get involved in people's business. I just want to go to sleep.
I get it.
So
I
can
get
you
it.
end
I
this
get it.
stream, mate? Hurry up and be a bit rapid.
Okay.
End it for James, Lee. Just end it for James.
All right. I will listen. No game this weekend. I don't know when we'll do the show next week. If anybody will ever come back and watch it again. If anybody will come back and be on it again. I have no idea. I have no idea if this will ever happen again. We may have killed the whole network, and Tim is gonna. I'm gonna walk out as soon as I open the door. Tim's gonna be standing in the hallway with like a butcher knife or something. But anyway.
I mean, it would be on topic for Tim currently in his production.
It's
company.
true. Tim loves horror movies, and he's probably going to stage one right out here in my hallway after I'm done. Anyway, doesn't matter. All the chat.
Right. I'll tell you what.
Listen, after that show,
I was going to say, if he wants another scene, he can come here.
Lucas, David, James, Tom, John, and of course Ray and his lovely girlfriend who dropped in wearing West Ham shirts, and everybody in the chat room. All in the chat room. It's such a great time to be West Ham. I'm so thankful you all were on here tonight, and we had so much fun. And until sometime in the future, I don't know when.
Viva Mark Noble.
Oh,
Viva!
You guys, watch Katie tomorrow night, okay? 8:00 Eastern. Katie's gonna have somebody on. Watch. You love Katie. Watch Katie, okay? Because she does a great job. And until then,
come on, you irons.
All right, I'm really doing it now.